It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office, back at Division? Yeah, in the office, baby. Going up.
All right, and away we go on a massive Friday here on the show. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. Boys, how we feeling?
You hear that instrumental bopping right there? How could you not feel good on a Freaky Friday when you hear that open that we got right here on Rothman and Ice? I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Another Freaky Friday has arrived. It's been a good week. We got into a lot of good stuff, and the party don't stop, baby. The party is just going to continue today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good right now because I'm in a cozy studio. Tomorrow will be unbelievable because what I'm going to need tomorrow is about 90,000 plus breathing very heavily. I'm going to need a lot of hot air and something to happen when I'm sitting on Lane Avenue in a shipping container doing that pregame. It's going to feel like the Tennessee game. I know it. I'm already anticipating it. You said it earlier. We've been fooled by trickery on our weather apps that said the high was going to be 49. Little did we know they meant at midnight tonight. We did not know.
Our program director, Fish, came out and he mentioned, hey, like it might be in the, low 30s tomorrow for the game. And I said, Fish, are you...
That's air temperature.
I said, are you sure? Because on my weather app on the old iPhone, I keep seeing anywhere between 45 to 48. And so you and I and CB were in a side studio getting ready for the show. And I said, let me pull this up one more time. And I looked at, the hour-by-hour progression, or in this case, regression, when it comes to the temperature, and you nailed it. So while we're all sleeping tonight, at midnight, it's going to be 48, and then by the time we wake up, it's going to be brisk out there. So bundle up, baby. Scarves, the hand warmers, whatever you need. Put what you need in your hot chocolate tomorrow,
Jock warmers, the whole deal. And CB's windsock, full staff, because I think it's going to be, the wind chill is going to get into the high teens.
Well, CB's going to be in the building tomorrow as well, and he's got a very nice parka. Did I say that? Is that what it is, CB? Am I labeling that correctly?
That's right. It's an Ohio State hockey one.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well, how come...
Where's mine?
I'm still wearing one from 2010 that's got a rip in the side.
We've asked for years around here, can we get new winter coats?
For the guys that have to endure.
Which is us.
We're not talking about staffing the whole building.
No. The guys that got to be out there on Saturdays doing pregame shows, especially when we get to late October, November, all of that stuff. And you know me, I'm soft when it comes to the cold. Yeah. So I feel for you tomorrow.
We're just trying to rep the brand. That's all we're asking. Will they let us one of these days?
You're not asking for a lot.
I don't care how fast a skater you are, Matty. If you don't play this game with a big heart and a big bag of knuckles in front of the net, you ain't got dinky do.
Listen, I hear you. That I love a good pep talk from you. For the folks that don't know, AR, exactly what you're going to be doing tomorrow.
I'm going to be in a shipping container.
We'll let them know who you're
after
going to be with. What time?
With the one and only Jeffrey Rimmer.
There we go.
We're going to do a little R&R on Lane Avenue.
Oh, you're swapping me out? You got a new partner already? Rothman and Rimmer? Rothman and Ice is done, CB.
Well, you said when it gets to a certain degree, it's kind of like your car trips. 3.5 hours, I'm out. You said 48 degrees, I'm out.
Oh, I'm out, man.
Now, cozy studio, it's you and me all day long.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we got a lot to do today. The big Don Waddell, will jump on. General Manager, President of Hockey Ops, Columbus Blue Jackets, 12:30. Will he lean in to this particular team? And how much will he be leaning? Because I do know that they've kind of cited this, look at who's coming back. We're acquiring players, our own players at the deadline. And the other thing I'm going to have to ask him is, aside from the fact that I know he can't tip his hand on a lot of things, there is unbelievable chemistry on this team, on this roster. Now, I'm not saying hoist Stanley Cup. I'm just telling you that what they're doing is really unfathomable right now. And I wonder if he's going to be very cognizant of not upsetting that part. And I know I'm not talking about wholesale changes or anything like that, but he's got some unrestricted free agents. And whether he wants to send guys out and bring a guy in, you are risking, when you're trying to improve a team, of upsetting what they already have. This has a very Herb Brooks, Miracle on Ice, because we're a family, Herb. We're a family, Don. And you just have to be cognizant of that. I can't wait to ask him.
What you're saying is I shouldn't ask him to unload the clip when it comes to, draft capital and assets or anything like that.
Draft capital's okay, because that's not upsetting chemistry. But adding and trying to move some pieces around the board, he's got incredible leadership on this team, is my point. And I think that you got to be a little bit cognizant of that. And then we got to ask him, is the ceiling the roof? We got to find that out.
Someone tried to tempt me last night because they sent me an email after the Jackets won again against Detroit, which was great outing.
Down 1-0.
And someone said to me, Matty, I think it's time to say officially print the shirts season. And I emailed him back and I said, not yet. Not yet. I'm not doing it to our Jackets. I want to do it. I think there's some listeners out there that want to hear me say it.
You feel you owe it to them? You didn't want to do it. You just feel you owe it to them.
I love our listeners, and I hate telling our listeners no, but I had to tell this one listener no. I'm not saying it on the air. So CB can play that old clip all he wants. It is officially print the shirts season. But when it comes to our Jackets right now, I'm going to let it marinate a little bit more. It's got to marinate a little bit longer.
How much longer? They don't have that many games left.
Well, here's the thing. When I say it, something's going to go wrong. At least I believe I have that type of power when it comes to print the shirt.
I thought we said we didn't have that power. I'm not going to bet on my own team.
Listen.
Look how well that worked out.
If we come in here on Monday and they get this thing done at the Stadium Series,
then it's on.
I might be willing to say it.
I think you should say it at that point, because at that point, they will own the first wild card. Yeah, if that happens.
How about JVR last night? We talked about him the other day and the season that he's having. And one of those glue guys that you got to have when you're having this type of year. And he was in his bag yesterday. I mean, there's so much good to talk about, but those type of guys, I believe, deserve a nice amount of conversation, because when you have the top end guys, and Marchenko's having this incredible year, right? Just absolutely has stepped up and been a monster for this hockey team. Along the way, other guys have really risen up. The young guys are there. Kent Johnson does some good things yesterday again. But I'm just really impressed with JVR.
It's a veteran player.
Yeah, man. He's doing his thing.
Who knows his role.
Yep.
Who knows how to be a leader no matter where he is in the lineup. And when Jens comes back and your captain comes back, you say, tell me where you need me to be. And that's what he is. And he got rewarded last night. That's what this team, that's my whole point on the chemistry and the leadership. There's been, and hockey players are generally like this, I do believe. I mean, you have some outliers, certainly. But I think they're sensing something. They're playing for that 13. They're playing for that. They're playing for a lot. And I think it started that way. And maybe the fact that the expectations were so low at the beginning because of the emotion of going into the season. Can't lose the guy who's led you in goals a couple years in a row and feel like you're going to be here. And so I feel like that's a big part of it. The emotion, maybe people thinking they weren't going to be much, took a little bit of the pressure off, even though the emotional pressure was on. But they've played through it. I think they all said to a man that the best medicine was playing and being together and all that hockey cures all a little bit. And they are moving forward as a group. They're getting, Tarasov, the saves he had to make, the first 20 minutes of that game was off its rocker. From a playoff intensity standpoint, it had it all. It was pipe night in Detroit, man. And it was on. And I feel like
could be two different events.
It was that kind of thing. So I do think they're in he's called it kind of a moderate buy. You want to feel like that you got something special here and you don't want to just let it kind of fend for itself. I asked Nasher that the other day, but they're in a buy, sell, or stick mode. I think they're kind of stick plus a little bit, like where they know what they have, yet if there's a chance. But I do think you've got some guys, whether it's Provy or Olivier, and guys that we know that have some big beef that can help this team in that big bag of knuckles I'm talking about, but also the fact that they are UFAs pending, and he's got to make a choice. But the Stadium Series is going to be incredible.
Yeah,
they've done this before in a lot of different places. I do think we have to have a refresher course on stadium versus arena. I've heard a lot of people referring to both as like Nationwide is an arena.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio's is a stadium.
Yeah.
Like
That's accurate.
We're kind of mixing it up anymore. Like
you know
in that football arena. No, it's a stadium.
Maybe it's people trying to tie the hockey vibes into the football. It is
called the Stadium Series for a reason.
I know, but I think maybe that's what somebody's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, blend the two. You know, like a brookie, like a brownie and a cookie. Maybe that's what somebody's trying to do.
Like a patty melt.
Yeah.
The difference is what we're going to get tomorrow, because I've seen games that snowing, you can't see the puck. I've seen games where you have a little bit of a blizzard effect. We're not going to have that tomorrow, which is good, but it's been the fact that they had to yank 10,000 seats away for sight lines and cameras and blind spots and all that. It won't allow them to get to that record that Michigan Stadium had, which is the largest ever outdoor game, which is 105 plus. But if they're getting a 90 plus and most of them are CBJ fans, then you got something going. The tie into Ohio State, the Skull Session in St. John, the walk, all of that is going to be surreal. And so this is a tough city. They'll brave the cold for a one-time thing like this, and they'll be happy they did. They'll be talking about it for a while. Kids of kids will be able to say that they were at the Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium. We will come back. As I mentioned, we'll have the Big Don on at 12:30. We will switch to Ohio State football briefly. And what do you got?
Because I just saw up on the combine, I guess this linebacker from Georgia was doing one of the drills and just took a football off the dome.
I think you called that yesterday.
Well, that's not even the gauntlet drill. This was him just like running down and turning around, and he just went right through his hands, and it looks like it hit him right in the eye, and he was holding his eye. So, yeah, that's why I was laughing.
And we want to highlight that? We want to we want to make that guy.
That's tough. Oh,
worse than the flopper?
The flopper.
Chris Jones?
Oh, no. That's by far the worst.
Of course. It is.
Full exposure.
Got no draws on.
Trying to start an OnlyFans.
The right team for a former Buckeye receiver could be closer than we think. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Get President's Day deals all month long at Coghlan Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4 LXS, just $131 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoghlanKia.com.
1.9% for 60 months equals $17.48 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over, 3401 due. Excludes $250 dock fee, $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 3/3/25.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Are you ready for the Jackets and Wings from the Shoe? Are you 5 hours ready? Yes, sir. We're giving you 5 hours of Jackets pregame starting Saturday at noon.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida.
Your home of the Jackets, The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect windy conditions this afternoon with southwesterly winds sustained around 25 miles per hour, potentially gusting up to 50 miles per hour. We have a wind advisory set until 7 o'clock this evening. And with those southwesterly winds, we'll boost up to the mid-50s for highs this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Tonight, I expect increasing clouds as we fall through the 50s and into the 40s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Calora.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony finally hit a hole-in-one. It's in the hole. So now what? Just bask in the glory? And that's how she wrote. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Indeed. A lot of hockey talk today. Buckling for that. Don Waddell, bottom of the hour. Former Jacket Mike Rupp, the Rupper, will be on with us at 2:30 from the NHL Network. Lakewood St. Ed's. Good to welcome back to the OH. We'll have him on at 2:30. Get his feeling on this team, specifically the outdoor stadium series and all that good stuff. What was I going to tell you? The wind. I answered this question yesterday, and I'm telling you I don't know this for a fact because I don't know if it's been determined yet. Somebody asked me yesterday that they wanted to buy tickets to this thing because they just got off work and they're like, I'm going to do it. I want to be there. And most people wanted to be in the CBJ attack zone twice, like they would at Nationwide or wherever. You want to be on the end where the CBJ is coming twice a game. Mm-hmm. Well, in my limited knowledge of the outdoor games, and this is when we talked about weather, the outdoor game is so different because of, if they're playing it like daytime, you have sun, you have glare. I told you about the possible, not here, but snow before. Wind is a big part of this. You can't have one team skating against 20-mile-an-hour winds twice. You got to make it fair. It's got to be fair to both teams. There is a chance that they could both. It's like, you're playing in the park or whatever. You're playing tennis or whatever, and you want to go against or with the wind all day long. So I think they could split the third period at the 10-minute mark.
Okay, that'd be interesting to see.
Switch ends, baby, tennis match. And I know that because a friend of mine called the ticket office way back when during the pre-sale, and they said that the closed end of the shoe, they told him the closed end of the shoe would be attacked twice. Well, the operative phrase there is ticket office. Their goal is to sell you tickets.
No doubt.
I don't know if they had a weather report for tomorrow, way back when he bought them. So I just want to warn people of that. I could be totally wrong. You might get there and be like, CBJ twice going to the South End. We're good to go. I got my tickets in the South End zone. But I just say be prepared if the wind is as bad as it could be, and it may not be.
Yeah.
They may determine it during the game how this goes. If the wind lays down, then you're okay. But I wouldn't put much faith into that exactly that you'll be in the attack zone twice if you're going. That's all. Just want them to be surprised, Matty.
You're informing people. That's what you're here to do. You're here to take care of the people. You're not worried about the people that are sitting in the stands. You're going to be sitting in the booth next to Gary Bettman anyway. So.
I'm going to be in a shipping container from 3 to 5 that I thought would be blocking wind, and you said it's more of a wind tunnel.
I'm telling you, that wind is coming right up in there, big dog. Doing that.
In that shipping container?
Doing the show on Saturday out there when it gets cold with Dane and DeVere. You can't hide. You're not going to be able to hide.
You can't run and you can't hide.
Just wrap up, man.
Well, that's what I told you. I thought this wasn't going to happen until next fall, so who knew? All right, so quickly, because we'll have Don Waddell on bottom of the hour. So Pro Football Focus broke down the needs for like all 32 franchises, and they've got a wide receiver at the top of the list, along with like a guard, a defensive tackle, and an edge rusher. And they feel the best fit for Emeka Egbuka is...
You tell me.
Cincinnati.
Interesting. So PFF thinks that's the best place for them to go.
How would they know this? T. Higgins is the guy they claim they want to keep.
Here's how it makes sense to me. If the plan AR is to tag and trade T. Higgins, I would understand that. But also, as I say that, we're talking about an offensive unit ran by Zach Taylor the last few years that loves having 3 wide receiver sets out there. And so maybe they look at the guys that they have in-house, whether that's, Yoshi Voss or Jermaine Burton and a couple of those receivers, and saying, those guys they aren't quite what we need, or they may not be ready for that level up. And they aren't the only ones that think that. I saw up on NFL Network, Lance Zierlein, who does a great job covering the draft, he had not Emeka mocked to the Bengals, but Teteroa McMillan of Arizona going to the Bengals at 17. So that's out there in the world. And then you find out this morning that Emeka has met with the Cincinnati Bengals. And look, he's going to meet with a whole bunch of teams. He's one of the top receivers in this draft class. So that's not shocking. But there's people out there talking, AR, that's are in this business just to cover the NFL draft and are around Cincinnati. And there's some thoughts out there and opinions that they may be leaning towards a wide receiver in the first round.
But he's not a one-for-one replacement with T. They're different players.
There absolutely are different players, and that's why I think they may be in the mindset of we're going to tag T for this year, keep him, and then bring in a rookie wide receiver the way Seattle did a few years ago with JSN, where they had Lockett and Metcalf in-house, and then they brought in this guy and looked good on paper. I know it was a little clunky for JSN to start, but I would not be mad at that at all. Their defensive issues are screaming at me, and I hear that, and you can't ignore it. But maybe they're thinking we can find guys throughout this draft to do that, and maybe free agency as well. And so they need, I think, a little bit more juice there, because right now, Mike Gesicki's not going to be a part of the equation. Yep. He is a free agent. He put together a nice year for them, third on the team in receiving yards. And so for Emeka, he's been linked, AR, over the last couple of weeks to 2 AFC North teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals. And I know there's going to be other teams involved on that, but there seems to be a little spark of smoke right now for Emeka to stay in the AFC, and maybe, the Steelers and Bengals being really interested in him.
Listen, I know this is an offensive league. Everybody gets that. If you go back and look at yards per game, not points yet, I'll do that in a second. But if you go yards per game, you've got mostly playoff teams. Mostly. You've got your Ravens. You've got the Lions. We've got the Niners, amazingly, were top 4 in yards per game. Didn't make the playoffs. Let me go to points per game. Detroit, Buffalo, Baltimore, 100%. Tampa, Washington. the Bengals, Philly, Green Bay, the Vikes, Denver, Chargers. Guess what the common theme is there?
Playoffs.
Except one.
The Bengals.
So that's my point in all of this. They're the one team that was in the top 10 in scoring offense and didn't make it. So I'm just saying, defense is the priority.
No question. And they're going to do that. But one thing I think you also have to address is the long-term plan on offense, too. If you know that you're Duke Tobin, Mike Brown, everybody up there that are the decision makers, that you're not going to get a deal done with T. Higgins, you need to find somebody that can roll opposite Jamar for the foreseeable future, for the next 3 to 5 years on a rookie deal that can be productive. Because you have this anchor of a contract with Joey B. You're going to add another anchor to your cap with Jamar Chase, and those deals are going to be worth it and then some with how good they are. But you need young and cheap talent to go around Joe Burrow the way they have a Chase Brown right now. But that wide receiver room needs to be addressed. And so whether it's the first round, second, third, whatever that looks like for them, you got to get young playmakers in there that are going to be ready to go sooner rather than later.
I did just get a text from Scotty Vegas. He says, I'm in the shipping container now. It's chilly.
See, I try to tell you. You can't hide in there.
And the epic words of the late, great comedian Norm Macdonald, that shipping container is as cold as a vampire's demeanor. And that thing is going to be rough.
Get you some hand warmers, a scarf, ski mask, a Joe Shiesty mask, rock that during the show. Shout out to Scotty Vegas, too.
Is he bringing the heaters? He didn't say that.
I hope so.
Didn't update that.
They had them out there for us. Those will help you out during the breaks.
Jackets have been cold steel on ice, winning games, and they are a contender. How much of one? We'll ask the GM next, Don Waddell, Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Winter's here, and as the snow begins to pile up outside, you might find yourself dreaming of warmer days, sunshine, barbecues, fishing, maybe even thinking about those home projects you've been putting off for forever. Why wait for spring to start planning? Now's the perfect time to get ahead. With so many roofing, gutter, and siding companies out there, it can feel overwhelming to know where to begin. With over 30 years of experience and a focus on every detail, Newman Roofing makes it simple. As a family-owned business, they're dedicated to delivering an outstanding customer experience from your first phone call all the way through to the final touches on your home. When it comes to roofing, gutters, and siding, trust the name that's been a local favorite for decades, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
The rink is in, and now we just wait for tomorrow when they drop puck. On festivities tomorrow we have never seen here in our fine city. The general manager of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Don Waddell, a very busy weekend for the Big Don. He joins us now here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Don, welcome, and I'm sure you're very excited. The anticipation is very real.
Yeah, thank you for having me. this is going to be a phenomenal event for our spectators and all our fans out there. And the event by the NHL's always put on great, but more importantly, the game means something. It's not an exhibition game. It's not an all-star game. It's a game for 2 points, a team we're tied at right now in the playoff race. So the fans are going to not only get the great experience, they're going to get a great hockey game.
First time for this franchise. The Red Wings have done it a lot. You've got some experience on your team, guys that have played in outdoor games before. What do you think that challenge is for Coach Dean and his boys to play in the outdoors? You've been around this game a long time. What have you heard about which teams perform better in this type of situation?
Well, you got to enjoy today. We have our practice and our family skate, but tomorrow it's all business. We got to put this behind us where we're playing and, prepare ourselves like we would for any game, either away or nationwide. So, you look back at the history of these games, they're usually low-scoring games, and I don't know what the reason is for that. I try to look at a lot of stuff this last week to try to see if we could find any edges. But, I think, we just got to make sure, put your family and everything aside for tomorrow and just make sure we do what we normally do on a game day to get ready for what we say is a big game for us.
Donna, I want to just get your feel on how the team has handled all the emotions that unfortunately were brought to them and this fan base and the city and the world of hockey early in the season with the unfortunate passing of Johnny. You're around these guys. It just seems like they're a resilient bunch. What are your thoughts on the emotional stuff and how Coach Dean and the players have handled that this year from your perspective?
Yeah, well, I think the coaches have done a great job. There's no doubt about it. But I think the most important thing is the leadership of this hockey club. These guys are together all the time. And, Boone Jenner went out early as our captain, but he was around, traveled some with our team. And guys like Werenski, Monahan, Olivier, these guys all took a huge step forward in leading this team. And, we can do a lot and say a lot from the outside, but it's in that room where this really happens. And again, the credit to our whole group, but particularly our leadership group, I just can't say enough good things about them.
Don, how much has this team exceeded your expectations from what you thought they could be to what they are today?
Well, it's making my job harder for today because, beginning of the year, I thought we'd be sellers at the deadline here and picking up assets and continue to build for the future. So they keep putting me in a spot where things look a little differently now. So just to say we haven't beat our expectations, nobody can say that. And I think with everything that happened and losing a couple key guys, the injuries were off the start of the year. I don't think anybody would think in March 1st we'd be sitting on a playoff spot. So I'm just very proud of this group, what they've done so far and what we continue to do. We had a great road win last night in Detroit. Just every night that they show up to play and the young kids do their job, and the veterans, Van Riemsdyk, Jenner, these guys last night were outstanding for us.
So let me pick your brain a little bit then. You have to decide, I guess, what you believe this team is capable of now, because you've seen enough games now to maybe get a feeling on what their ceiling might be, and then decide, A, where you think the improvements might be with talking to your coaches, and then also deciding whether there's a certain chemistry on this team that you don't want to mess with, right? So which way do you lean?
Yeah, you've nailed it. The chemistry of this team, you always worry about, what you bring in, what goes out. These guys deserve to try to keep this thing moving in the right direction. Do we need some help? If we can add the right positions, we've had some injuries. We've got still Monahan out. Looks like Silly's going to be out for a little while. They deserve that. We're trying every day, multiple phone calls every hour, trying to just find a player or two that we think we could throw in our lineup. And like I said, beginning of the year, when we added the guys we added, it's one thing to add good players, but we want to add good people. And we got something good going here. And we want to make sure that anybody we bring here is going to fit in the locker room and fit with the culture that we have established.
Donna, it's really impressive to me to see some of the young guys, right, that were drafted over the last couple of years step up, and it seems like they're really figuring it out. And one of those guys right now is Kent Johnson, and he put together, a nice night last night. He's got a 4-game point streak going. Just talk about Kent and the growth that you've seen from him this year and behind the scenes.
Yeah, I give Kent credit. Yeah, he went in the summer when I first got the job here, and when I talked to all the players, he was really working hard to put on some muscle. He's not a big guy. He's not going to grow much taller, but he can add muscle. And he did a good job of doing that, and it shows from this play because we all know his skill set and his hockey sense is off the charts. But you also have to be able to handle the physicality, and he's shown that this year. And, all these young guys that are taking this big step. I said if we could be playing meaningful games in March, these are like playoff games for these guys. Whether, we get there or not, they're playing every night. It's a do-or-die situation for, points. So the games that we're playing right now are hard games, and I think it's great experience for all our young guys.
We are being visited with Don Waddell, General Manager, President of Hockey Ops for the Columbus Blue Jackets here on Rothman and Ice. When you and Maddie talked about, the tragedy that they've all endured, when you went out and got James Van Riemsdyk, a 35-year-old guy who's been around, how much of that was play and what he could bring to your hockey team, and how much was that veteran leadership that maybe you felt you needed that voice in that room a little bit?
Yeah, the veteran leadership obviously has to stand out. He's been around for a long time. I've had him in world championships. I had his brother for many years, so I got to know JVR over the years. And I knew what kind of person we're bringing in and what he's been able to accomplish on the ice. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he knows how to play hockey. He knows where to be at the right times, and I think he's got 12 goals after last night or so. He scored some big goals for us. He's been in every situation. He's played for a few different teams. In fact, this will be his 7th outdoor game. So we're leaning on him for a little experience from that end, too. But, JVR has been as much as we could ever anticipated and better.
You talked, Don, about, how impressive you thought the coaching staff was and the players themselves dealing with the emotions. I want to go back to the coaching staff and get your thoughts on Dean and what you've seen from him as X and O wise and what he's been able to infuse into this franchise and put out there on the ice, because the offense has been very productive, as you know. So hit us with that, Don. Your thoughts on Dean and the execution that you're seeing from the coaching staff when it comes to the hockey part.
Yeah, when we were going through all the interview process, and I talked to lots of different people, and so like Rick Nash and guys talking, they got players that play for him, and everybody loved playing for Dean because he likes to play that offensive mindset. You have to have be built to be defensive too, but we're going to attack all the time, and whether we're up by a goal, down by a goal, we don't change the style we're playing. And I give credit, the assistant coaches. He really relies on assistant coaches, and all of them to a man have stepped up. And I didn't know all the guys when we brought them in, but getting to know them, they're all dedicated to what they need to do to make our team better. So I think the credit goes to Dean, but you can't forget about all those assistant coaches too.
All right, so you've got some guys that are pending here, unrestricted free agents. You got Provy, you got Matthew Olivier, you've got decisions on your hands. Have you received any offers, and are they tempting to you? You've got a lot of draft capital already, so you're more likely to lean into kind of riding this out with your pending UFAs, or do you feel like you have to do what's best for the organization moving forward and consider everything?
In a normal year, I would say, we know where we're at. We need to manage our assets, take advantage of players if we can't get them signed, pick up those assets. This is a different year. Everything we've been through, and right now my thinking is, ripping any of these guys out of the locker room, and they're all important guys to our team on and off the ice, might not be the best thing. So that keeps me awake at night. I didn't sleep at all last night after I get back from Detroit because, never, I guess, go back to September did we think we'd be in this spot, but we are, so now we have to deal with it and deal with it not only from asset management, but I think more importantly right now is what these guys have been through together this year and how they've stuck together all year and put us in the spot to make these decisions tough for me.
Yeah, there's a human element side. You're running a business technically, but there is a big human element. You want to break any news? You got anybody signed or anybody closer?
I'm working on it. It's signing unrestricted free agents is always the challenge because with the cap going up and the market where it is, we got some guys that are going to get paid very well. So I'm working on multiple players right now as we speak, and hopefully, as I said to a couple agents this morning, let's get through today and tomorrow and pick up talks on Sunday. Let the guys enjoy this weekend, and then we'll get back to business with particularly the unrestricted guys come Sunday.
Don, before we let you go, I know Caden Lindstrom's a guy you guys are very high on, right? And you're expecting him to be a nice piece for the franchise moving forward. How is he doing? What's the latest on Caden Lindstrom?
Yeah, he's doing really well. He's skating now. We've been very mindful of the injury and not rushing him. And we've played the very safe course on this one. He's 18 years old. 19 years old. He's going to be a big part of our future. So, for what he had to go through, we just felt that it was better to take the conservative approach. He is back on the ice. It looks really good. And then next few weeks, we're going to make a decision of what he does the rest of the season.
Don, this was really nice of you. We appreciate it. I know our listeners do, and they're Jacket fans. Enjoy tomorrow. You've earned it to this point. I know you got a lot more work to do to get this thing to the finish line and feel really good about it. But thank you so much, and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, always a pleasure talking to you guys, and look forward to a big night at the shoe tomorrow night.
Absolutely. We'll see you down there. Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
All right, there he is. President of Hockey Ops, General Manager of the Blue Jackets, Don Waddell. You could hear it. I think he feels he almost owes it to this particular group, whether it's what they've been through, what they've gone through, what they've earned up to this point, and it's just not, you could hear it in his voice. He didn't say these exact words, but I'll paraphrase. This is not business as usual. This is not just this year of rebuild. It's got a different sense to it. There's a little bit of a vacuum effect in what they've done here, and I think he wants allow them to see it through.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, we're going to come back into the weekend with overs and unders next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hurry into Menards and save big money on your appliance upgrade. You need reliable and energy-efficient appliances to conquer the day. Menards is your one-stop shop with the largest in-stock appliance selection ready to take home today. Check out our top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and Criterion. Save big money on all appliances at Menards and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards. Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Overs and Unders.
All right, CB. Overs and unders. Did we steal any money from you last week?
Yeah, I think I talked a little bit too much trash heading into last week when I had you down in the dirt. The week before, you both did pretty well. Matty Ice went 4-2. AR, you went 5-1. So it's time to get back into the business of making money over here.
You can't keep a couple good men down.
Talk about it. Talk to him, AR.
That's right, baby. All right, let's hear it. He's going to make him tougher this week.
Which is funny. We talked about that Jalen Brunson one at 26.5. It was coming off a back-to-back, and you guys weren't really feeling it. And I think you guys hit that one because he was just under. He hit 26.
And I was worried because he was cooking early in that game.
The Cavs were cooking in that game. I think they had 142.
Yeah, their offense is just legit, baby. It's legit.
My bro says, Matty, there's a right side and there's a wrong side. And we were on the right side.
Darn right.
That's exactly right. All right, let's start off with the Stadium Series. I've got Zach Werenski's over-under on shots on goal. He only had one last night at Detroit. Let's go for over-under 2.5 in this game.
So, listen, he can have 4, he can have 1. This is very hard to predict. The only one last night, you're right. It's tough to predict, especially in the outdoor game.
It was interesting, too, that the Big Don said that he was looking at some of the games and from the past that have been played outside, and scores have been lower.
Not the last couple.
And
I don't think.
Well, that's what he was. Did I mishear?
No, you heard him correctly.
It was interesting, but just the last two you're saying have been pretty good outputs when it comes to offense, and offensive production.
And it's interesting because each stadium's going to have its own vibe.
Yeah.
This one's going to have an enormous vibe. In a Jackets lean.
I believe the New Year's Eve game between the Blues and Blackhawks at Wrigley was 6-2.
Okay.
Matty, they've played these at Ralph Wilson in Buffalo. They played them in Chicago. They played them in the Cotton Bowl. They played them in MetLife a couple times. It's just very hard to know which way that puck's going to bounce for these guys. I'll take the over. I think I can get him to 3 shots. It's just, I'm more inclined to lean under just because of weather and wind and who knows what is going to happen. It just doesn't have as much controlled environment here.
Before you stamp in, really lock in your pick here, 2 out of the last 3, our guy Z's gone under on shots. However, the first time our Jackets played Detroit, he had 8 shots. Now, I get every game's different and has its own trends baked within the game, but that was the first time. Outside of not last night, but the first matchup, he had 8 shots.
I'm leaning in to do the do. I think he's due. I also think in an outdoor game, you want these goalies to see as many pucks as possible because it's just different. The sight lines are different. The feel is different.
Yeah.
It's just there's a different traffic in front. It feels like I think there's just more external stuff for them to worry about. So I'm going to go over. I think they want to put the puck on the net.
I'm going to go over as well, and here's my real reason why I'm going over, CB, is because when we talked to him on Hockey and Hounds on Wednesday, he was already sick of all the Buckeye leaves that are out there as a Michigan Wolverine. So that's just going to add to his motivation. Give me the over for Z.
All right, next up, Darius Garland tonight against the Celtics. His over-under for total points is 19.5.
See, I'm going to go with the under. I'm going with the under on this. Here's why. Dallas, they got wings that are coming at you in waves, right? And DG's he's 6'1". And so I think this matchup's going to get tough for him, right? With Drew Holiday at 6'4", Jalen.
Celtics, you mean?
Yes, Celtics.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, those guys for the Celtics that are, Jalen Brown 6'6", Tatum 6'8", Derek White 6'4". They got a lot of length. I could see Jarrett and Evan having good days down low, but I'm going to go with under for DG tonight.
So it's weird because they played the Celtics, a few times already this season. He's gone over this number a couple times. I think this one's on the road, so you got to consider that a little bit. I think the reason I'll probably join you in the under is because I just don't like the way he's shooting the ball from three right now. And I think that's the way he gets to this over. He's 6 for 23 on his last 23 threes. So I could go do and say he's due to go over this now or due to shoot better from three, but I'm going to lean under since it's on the road.
All right, big game for seeding in the Big Ten tournament. We have Purdue and UCLA at Mackey Arena. Purdue's over-under for total points is 72.5.
Playing the Bruins?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Listen, Purdue has kind of sucked lately, and it's no way around it. Last couple games against Michigan and IU, they're not getting to 70. They're at home, but I think UCLA is a pretty decent team. So I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, the trend of how they're playing is big time for sure. And when you look at UCLA defensively, they're first in the conference in point allowed. Like, they're bringing the handcuffs out there on the court. They don't give up a whole bunch of threes either, and they're top 6 in the league in steals. I'm going under. Cronin's got them playing well on defense.
All right, this one I got destroyed on last week. The Crew and the Fire went way over the 2.5. Bet365 still has it at 2.5 for this game against the New England Revolution. So if you like that number, play that. But I'm going to boost it a little bit to feel a little bit safer about it. So Crew Revolution over under 3.5 total goals.
We scored 3 in our first game, CB?
It was a 4-2 game.
4? Yeah. New England didn't score any in their first. The sample size is just way too small.
Well, it's only one game, yeah.
I'm going under.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tougher fight.
I'm going under.
I think we could have a 2-1 game.
All right, back to the Stadium Series game. The total goals in it for the Red Wings and Jackets is over under 6.5. Excuse me, 6.5.
I got to lean into the over.
Are you all over right now? Except for you're two unders. You're 2 unders.
Yeah,
no, he has 3 unders.
Yeah, Darius, Purdue, and the Crew all under.
Okay.
I went over on Zach.
You guys are exactly the same right now.
Oh, good.
Scary.
Good. Tandem jump out of the plane. You did great last week. I would say I'll lean into the over for the same reasons I talked earlier. A little tougher on the goalies. Bounces might be a little funky. And I'll just say that we can get to the over. That's pretty hefty. I mean,
yeah, it is.
The only issue is, and I would come back to this, though, and I may talk myself off the ledge. It's where these two teams are. I have no idea. I can't go back in my memory bank and tell you every Stadium Series and what those teams were playing for in that moment, and whether they were playing for the novelty of being outside or whether they were playing for something that matters. This matters big time. So guess what?
You're going under. I'm with you too.
I'm gonna reverse and go under.
Yeah, I'm with you. Lay down that Uno reverse card, CB.
It was tight until it wasn't last night, in a way, but yeah, under.
All right, so
that did not deserve anything.
As I've said, you are the same through all 5. Let's see if we get the same all through 6. The high temperature for the weekend. I know AR is feeling it already, but the over-under's 34.5.
Oh, man. Excuse me. I'm just.
Well, it's not tomorrow. I know that. I've got some inside information.
Yes.
We're not hitting that over tomorrow.
I'm going under.
I mean, tomorrow when I'm on the air.
I'm going under.
I'm going to hit it at midnight. Wait, the highest temperature of the weekend, you said 34.5? But we just told you it was going to be like 48 at midnight. Does that not count?
Is that when he's checking?
I just maybe found
John Glenn International Airport gives me the reading each week, and I go based off of that. So if it's different, then
But what I'm asking you is if it's 43 at 2 in the morning,
does that count?
We get credit for an over?
Then I'm taking the over.
You'll have to ask the experts over at the airport. I don't know.
The the airport.
Ask the windsock.
I'm going over. I'm changing.
That is my windsock.
I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going over.
Because if we don't hit it in the early morning hours tomorrow, we'll hit it on Sunday, maybe.
No doubt. Hey, real quick, I mentioned Hockey and Hounds with Z. We had Don Waddell on bottom of the hour. If you ever miss anything from our show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Our podcast is sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, we will get to it in the second hour. Pretty big time. We'll talk a little football. Will Howard over at the Combine, and he's talking about where he can be and whether he could have a little reunion, perhaps. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's our President's Day sales event all month long.
This event is big. You choose your rate. 0%, 1.9%, 2.9%, and up to a full 60 months on so many new Lindsay Hondas. And no trade-in required. This deal works with 0 down. 2025 CRVs and Ridgelines. Both only $299 a month. That's $299 a month. Visit LindsayHonda.com because this February is the time to
keep more presidents in your wallet with Lindsay Honda.
See LindsayHonda.com for details.
Get President's Day deals all month long at Coughlin Chevrolet, Central Ohio's #1 Chevy dealer. Lease a new 2025 Chevy Trax, only $149 a month, or a new 2025 Trailblazer, just $169 a month. At all 5 Coughlin Chevy locations and CoughlinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
36 and 42-month leases, 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over, $39.99 due at signing plus tax, title, and license. See dealer for details. Ends 3/3/25.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money. It's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Top of the afternoon to you. I'm Cole Bartemus. The Four Nations break appears to be just what the doctor ordered for this Blue Jackets team. Pardon me for reminding you, but the Blue Jackets had lost 4 games in a row prior to the break. Now, on the other side of that break, they have won their first 3 games. This time, a 5-2 victory over Detroit last night. The Jackets and Red Wings are currently knotted at 66 points and are taking up both Eastern Conference wildcard spots. That means that tomorrow's rematch in the Stadium Series is going to be even more significant than it already would be. We over here at 97.1 The Fan are excited for this game in the shoe tomorrow, and we got some specialty programming leading up to that. We'll have local programming going on from 8 a.m. all the way through the game. Mad About Hoops, Fan Sports Saturday, and then a pair of pregame shows. Reeser, Baker, and Tyvis, that's going to be the lineup for the first pregame show. That's going to be noon to 3. And then Rothman and Rimmer, that's going to be 3 to 5, leading you right into CBJ game coverage. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
Second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Cannon has arrived at the shoe.
How's that working?
It's a great question. I've asked it. I didn't get an answer.
Okay.
The answer I received back was, from an unnamed source, was magic. That's how it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's tied into the acoustics of Nationwide Arena. I don't know how they hook it up at the shoe, but it's there, and I don't think it's there just for photo ops and effect.
No. And it's going to be booming tomorrow, hopefully. It's a big game.
Huge.
It's a big game,
and it
man.
makes it so much different in my mind. Because I've heard people, and I've heard hockey fans, friends of mine, say that when they bought the tickets, they were going for the novelty of it. They wanted to be in the building, see an outdoor rink in the shoe, and just kind of be there. And it wasn't necessarily about the game itself.
Well, now you get that, and you get a game that matters with 2 teams that know each other well, that are in each other's way. And so that you can't ask for much more than that. The environment's going to be incredible. 90,000 in the house. They're expecting that over there. And so I'm just fired up about it. And hopefully our Jackets can come out victorious and everybody can enjoy not only the environment, but go home with a dub as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they have to treat it as a very, very important game. And as Don told us earlier, enjoy the lead up to it, but then try to compartmentalize the game itself.
Yeah, it's time to lock in.
And Dean's got to keep guys involved because it's a different version of what he's used to. It's going to be freezing. So maybe shorter shifts, maybe guys, you want to keep them warm the best you can. I know you feel like just sitting out there, you'll be fine, but the players, have to have a feeling of that they're involved in the game so they can move and feel good about what they're doing. Yeah. But yeah, this is one of the greatest stories in sports right now. And I think outside of Columbus, they're starting to hear about this little engine that could here in Columbus. Choo-choo. And they've heard it before, but I think now it's very real to them. Very real. We're watching skill grow up in front of our eyes. We're watching a leadership on defense in Zach that is unmatched right now. Mm-hmm. Goaltending is making very, very big saves and key saves. And they've come together, and they're getting guys back. They're getting guys that wanted to be ready for this. I mean, Marchenko comes back really early. Jens wanted to make sure he was back for this one, so he's been back, which is great.
He had three assists last night?
Delivering.
Yeah, look good.
Just delivering. The silly news is not great when Don said he's going to miss a little bit. He's got an upper body that he suffered in the first period when they fell behind 1-0. So they moved Boone over from the left wing to replace him, and then JVR moved up from the fourth line to replace him, and this is who they are.
Yeah.
Just moving pieces around the board the best they can, and the good news is they're used to it, and they've adjusted as well as any team out there.
You know what I want from Jacket fans now when it comes to JVR? Like the Rob Van Dam chants. You know, big wrestling fan, Rob Van Dam. We got to get those JVRs going. He deserves it, man.
He
deserves it. He really has.
All right, we jump into Will Howard. I said to you in the break, I find him to be a very tough prospect to measure. I can't tell you whether he is going to be a full-fledged backup at the NFL level or whether he's got big-time starter in him. He's a leader. He's battle-tested. He's played against very good teams. His accuracy has been off the charts. He was 73% when he led him to the national championship. He can run. He's physical. He's got a high IQ. There are a lot of great strengths that he has. I can't tell you right now whether he can light up NFL defenses. Maybe with the right weaponry he can, but the scouting report on him is very interesting. Where do you have him? He's not a first-round quarterback.
That would surprise me. That would surprise me, but throughout this draft process, it won't surprise me at all if his name rises and rises quickly. I don't know if that turns into a third-round pick or a second-round pick, whatever that is. But the traits are the traits, and those traits are real. And before you even get to the on-the-field stuff, you and I talked about this all summer, early portions of fall. Every time that dude got to a microphone, you felt like he was ready to lead. And then you get into the season, you're like, let's see what this kid's got from Kansas State. See what he's got. And there were some clunky moments along the way, as there will be for everybody. But when it clicked, it clicked. And at the most important time, he delivered and was in his bag and played at the highest level that you could probably play at the collegiate ranks. And one thing that I really liked about him as well, amongst a bunch of things, is that he wanted to smoke. He did. Whether that was hearing noise and using that to go out there and play well, or when it came to, hey, Coach Day, Coach Kelly, if you need me to put my body on the line with the quarterback run, I'm ready to do that. We played a few clips throughout the year where he talked about how he likes the physicality. He's not scared of that now. Is that what you want from your quarterback all the time? Probably not, but it takes you inside his mindset and what he's built of, right? And I think GMs, owners, when they get in those meeting rooms with him, they're going to fall in love with Will Howard. And then you're going to turn on the tape and see this guy that was a certain quarterback at Kansas State put on the scarlet and gray with those Buckeye leaves on his helmet, and then you get to that stretch run against some of the elite teams around college football, and he was doing everything. And so I'm hoping that he really throws well at the combine. It sounds like he's going to do that. And if he can check that box along with the box that I know he's going to check with the banter back and forth with teams and getting on the board and doing all that, yeah, his stock's going to rise. I just don't know how high.
I think the issue they have, and you brought it up, maybe unknowingly, was how much did he benefit from being at Ohio State and how much did he benefit Ohio State? Like, how much did he benefit from leveling up with talent around him versus the talent he brought to the table? No one will know that. They'll have to look at all the games. They'll look at the Michigan game, and then they'll look at this run, and they'll try to compare what they see. I agree with you. The second you talk to him, you'll be impressed. They're going to have to decide whether he's Sam Darnold or whether he's Blake Bortles. Like, we don't know. And no one knows. That's the great part about the draft.
Yeah.
This is not a science. He checks a lot of boxes from a physical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
He checks a lot of boxes from a maturity standpoint, as you said. His IQ, his toughness, his athletic ability, all that.
And when the chips are down, he showed, I got it, right? Like the 3rd and 11 play, it takes guts. Like that call comes into your helmet with what was on the line there and a chance to seal it and win the national championship, I don't know if every quarterback's built for that. And yeah, he stepped up and threw it to the best wide receiver in the country. But to me, that's impressive to be able to really lock in a moment like that and bring it home the way that this wasn't some quick little slant or curl route. And the guy was like, this was, I got to throw it over the top and with touch and accuracy. And those are the moments and things that I would invest in if I were a GM, amongst a whole bunch of other things. But that's like, oh yeah, he's got that dog in him.
You're talking about poise.
Yes.
And poise counts. It does. It wasn't just a alley-oop.
Nope.
It was a throw he had to make. Yeah, he knew it was on the other end. But I think they'll start really looking at him to see where his arm strength is for the NFL level. And hopefully he can match what they think. If he can beat man on second and third level throws and all that, then he's got something. I'm with you. He's just a very, very tough prospect for me to figure out what his ceiling might be in the NFL. Because there have been guys that have been on championship teams that have looked really good. The Mac Joneses. There have been guys like that. And then you start you don't know until you know.
That's all.
And so there's going to be a spot in this draft where he becomes value.
Yes.
Where then he becomes value. I don't think he's a reach for a quarterback necessarily, but I think he's in a spot where they'll be very tempted.
And the beauty of this whole situation right now for Will is once you get past, obviously the top two, and then for some it's like, the Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, and I'm forgetting somebody else, forgive me, but once you get past that level, it seems like it's open. It seems like it's open for somebody to step up and really put themselves, let's say, in the top 5 of this quarterback class.
So it's Cam, Shedeur,
Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, and Quinn. Thank you.
Quinn,
that was the other one I was looking for. So right around that fringe top 5, Will puts together a nice offseason starting in Indy.
Yeah.
I think he can get there.
I think we just got there. I don't see him getting picked over those 5.
Well, and the guys that, like Jalen Milroe, Will's got much better tape than him. Much better tape. Yes, Jalen is more explosive with his legs and all that, but with what Will did, you sitting here today, and I wouldn't have any pushback on if one of these draft analysts told us I've got Will ranked above Jalen Milroe.
Close, I bet, just because you're probably tantalized by Milroe and what you said about the athletic ability. I do think that the fun part of this might be in the Kyle McCord versus Will Howard. That would be in this draft.
For me, Will offers more with his game.
He's bigger also.
And his legs. Kyle ain't doing that.
No. Yeah. That, and by the way, we answered the ultimate question that Ryan Day was asking himself. Do I need to level up?
And he did, and won a darn natty.
And he did. We'll come back with the pressure cooker next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Meet the new Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs from the Ohio Lottery. Scratch off greenhouses to reveal winning numbers for a chance at over $113 million in total cash prizes. That's a spectacular amount of winnings. 5 games from $1 to 20. Multipliers from 5 to 100 times. Chance bonuses and top prizes up to $1 million. When you play the Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs, what you find under a greenhouse could change everything. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV. We're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
Feeling the aches and pains of everyday life slowing you down? Introducing Blue Emu, America's #1 emu oil formula for pain relief. In a recent clinical trial, 91% of users saw improvement after using Blue Emu. Whether you're working hard, playing harder, or just staying active, Blue Emu penetrates deep to relieve joint and muscle pain fast. And best of all, you won't stink. Join the 91% who felt the difference. Find Blue Emu at your local retailer or online. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect windy conditions this afternoon with southwesterly winds sustained around 25 miles per hour, potentially gusting up to 50 miles per hour. We have a wind advisory set until 7 o'clock this evening. And with those southwesterly winds, we'll boost up to the mid-50s for highs this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Tonight, I expect increasing clouds as we fall through the 50s and into the 40s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Kalora.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Dog friendly. And if you ain't down with that, this is Rothman and Ice.
All right, the pressure will be on in moments. The pressure, this is 3+1 for me. Here's an honorable mention right out of the gate. The pressure's on me today.
Why?
Because I forgot a lunch.
I got you. What do you need?
I've been eating oatmeal and oyster crackers for the last hour. To get me to 3 o'clock.
You look around me right now, I got a bag of blueberries, a bag of trail mix, and to my right is beef and Brussels sprouts. I got you covered.
Well, I'm not eating the beef, but I will... I think mine is a pretty good combo.
You know what you could do is just
Skyline oyster crackers, and Quaker oatmeal, not together, but as kind of like a companion piece.
Why don't you just DoorDash something? Uber Eats something
I
here.
don't want to really deal with all that.
What, hitting a button and having it delivered to you?
The only
you don't want to do that?
The only food app that I have on here, Maddie, you know that
Smoothie
this took me a while, was to get to the King, baby. On a Friday upsize.
Oh, man, no.
Ask Fish. We got the business account on the Uber Eats.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still?
Oh, yeah, it's there.
You have it on your phone.
I mean, I still have access from the Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah, let's get my guy AR
but I
salad
don't
or
use
something.
it, obviously, outside of the Super Bowl chart.
Wink, wink.
I pay them back. They trust me.
You going to make it?
Yes, I'm on oatmeal and oyster
crackers. You
crackers.
going to get hangry?
No, I'm all right.
All right.
I can get to 3 o'clock and then go Friday upsize at the King.
It is good, man. CB put me on the kale and apple juice smoothie when we were in the airport. Yeah, that was a hit.
Daily Warrior.
All right,
That's me.
Let's cook.
All right, CB.
Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Got all quiet there because I didn't want the brass to hear that I might be using the Uber app and then wait to see if they come get me.
Listen, they're making you sit out in the cold. The least they could do is buy you a meal.
A hot meal.
There you go.
That's right. I got a couple for you, Maddie. I think you're going to like these.
Okay.
I'm going to start with Kentucky cornerback Maxwell Hairston, who has now promised all of us that he is going to put on a show during the athletic testing and on-field drills. Now, many prospects have kind of opted to wait and perform at their pro day. Oh, no. Not Mr. Hairston. Potential first-round pick said that was never a consideration for him.
Okay.
And he sat down with Aditi Kinkhabwala to talk about it.
Last thing I have for you.
Yeah.
You've been talking a bit of trash here. I mean, you promised to put on a show tomorrow?
For sure.
Okay, what does a show look like?
From the vert to the broad jump to the 40, that's going. But the field work, too, that's going to be the cherry on top.
So we need to get our popcorn?
Need to get popcorn, probably a milkshake, and some candy.
But if we're so excited, we might make a mess, right? We're expected to jump off the couch.
Gotta get some napkins, too.
All right, then. Did you ever even consider not doing any of the drills?
No, this is what I train for. So, I'm excited to put that all on display, be able to show my athleticism, show my speed, and just, put on the show.
They got a new invention, Aditi. It's called a napkin. And guess what? Have anything you want. It's going to be a show. Now, there was a guy, you want to talk about the cherry on top of the sundae?
Mm-hmm.
There was another guy who leaped in there and crushed that. Isaiah Bond.
Okay.
Receiver for Texas. Now, you guys remember Xavier Worthy ran a 40 of 4.21.
Yeah.
It was the fastest ever at the combine. Well, here's Isaiah Bond with a straight face.
I'm going to break the record tomorrow, for sure. I anticipate running 4.20 or possibly I'm feeling great. I might run 4.1.
A 4.1. His best time in training has been a 4.23. But he started with, I'm breaking the record. This is self-induced pressure that I've never heard before going into a scouting combine at a draft.
What position did the first guy play? He's a corner. Yeah, not surprised. Those are the
Corner
guys.
and receiver?
Yeah, those are the guys that do the most talking, right? Corners and wide receivers. I can't wait to see Isaiah Bond run. But yeah, that is.
If he's feeling good, 4.1.
It's definitely added pressure there for sure. I like that a lot. First candidate for me. It's a big day. It's a big day for all of us wrestling fans tomorrow. Because up in Toronto, we are getting the Elimination Chamber. So I'm putting Triple H and The Rock on the pressure list because I don't know what the heck is going on. I put The Rock on the pressure list last week. He shows up to SmackDown in New Orleans, confronts Cody Rhodes. The promo was a mess. You're a babyface, you a heel. Just be the damn final boss and let's get on with it, Rocky. Now, you're showing up tomorrow in Toronto. You guys better have some clarity come Saturday night going into Sunday morning with what we're getting at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. Because these are the final puzzle pieces that need to come together. Are we getting John Cena? Are we getting CM Punk? Where is Roman Reigns, my tribal chief? I'm acknowledging him. He ain't even around anymore. We got to get it together, Triple H and The Rock. So you guys, again, are on the pressure list for a second week in a row.
I love it. All right, I'm going to switch on the fly because I have some news. The pressure now is on every damn team that needs a quarterback in the NFL that thought they were getting Matt Stafford.
What just happened? He's going
I
back.
hate this stuff. They can't quit each other. He called their bluff. The Rams said they called his bluff, and now they're both coming back together.
What'd he get?
I don't know what he got. He probably got close. Would you take a discount to stay in L.A.? I would. I know they pay you with sunshine. He's got a lot of money.
What is happening?
He probably didn't need to get to 50. I don't know.
What's Shefty saying?
Shefty is now saying that he's back. They've reached an agreement. They've restructured the deal. It's going to keep him in L.A. And what that means is that everyone else is in the Stafford sweepstakes is a loser, including Tom Brady at the ski lodge, who's now by himself again. He can bump into him when they play each other.
Oh, man.
So Stafford is staying, and I think it stinks. It's too bad. I wanted the domino to fall, and then everything just starts to get in a different mindset. I think you nailed it. I think it's boring, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and that means now all we have to worry about is what the Titans are going to do. Are they going to trade it? Are they going to pick Abdul Carter? Are the Browns going to take Cam Ward if he's there? Giants then will get Shedeur. Stafford stays with the Rams. Darnold now they got to shift to Darnold with the Raiders, I'm sure. Justin Fields will go to the Jets. Russ will come back to the Steelers. Cousins will probably find his way onto some middling team as a high-end backup. Carr, we mentioned, is staying in New Orleans.
Yeah, this is
Rodgers is going to retire. This is going to be a very boring offseason.
Yeah, this is boring. I am interested in the money though, and what that looks like when it comes to the restructure.
Tech Shefty.
Last candidate for me. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers. We got to have this one tonight. This is the last opportunity you have to get after the Boston Celtics in the regular season. Celtics lead the season series 2-1, but this one's in Boston, and it's one of the toughest places to win.
Come back and kill them in their own shop.
Darn right. But I just think, AR, the Cavs need to make a statement in this one tonight. They've been whooping everybody else all year long. But this is going to be the one team that's going to stand in their way of potentially playing for a Larry O'Brien trophy in the summer. And so Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, the big foe, and then the two weapons coming off the bench, DeAndre Hunter and Ty Jerome. All of you guys are on the pressure list because I think you need to send a message to Boston tonight to say, if and when we see each other in the postseason, this ain't going to be easy. This ain't going to be easy. So the Cavs tonight, the game's on ESPN at 7:30. You're on the pressure list. Let's go.
And for the record, I wasn't talking myself into a 37-year-old quarterback uprooting his life and moving from L.A. to Vegas to be with the Raiders. I said yesterday, that's what you want to do? You want to finish it out with the Raiders and try to make that work?
Wanted to hang out with Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly.
Let's just all think about this for a quick second. The lesson that we've learned today is a lesson we've known forever. It always, always, always comes down to money. Well, they got to a point where he could say, I'm going to stay in L.A.
I think he's getting the best of both worlds.
Right.
You're right in what you're saying, but it's also a good football team he's staying attached to.
But he wasn't going to stay for the current contract. He needed more money.
That's why when these guys always talk about the team stuff and all that, I'm like, all right, whatever. You're in it for the money.
They all want both.
Of course.
But the ultimate tiebreaker tends to be the green. We come back. Mike Tanier in 2 minutes, founder of the Too Deep Zone, Maddie. Now we get to find out where the other guys are going to slot in. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Newman Roofing has been in business for over 30 years, so they know a thing or two about your roofing, gutter, and siding needs, and will ensure every detail is covered from start to finish. So call Newman Roofing today, the company built around family, at 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Scotty Vegas here, offering you a sure bet. If you choose Awaken 180, you will succeed. We all did. I dropped my 35 pounds. Austin dropped his 50, and Beam is almost down 52. What's stopping you? A sure bet at awaken180weightloss.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
No one funks up the work microwave like these two. Fish again? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Not fish again. It's oatmeal and oyster crackers for a guy that forgot his lunch. We're halfway home.
I did have some little salmon for lunch.
Oh, you all right?
That was me.
So we did get the fish.
We
covered.
had to live up.
All right, nice.
I got it done.
Mike Tanier, our man, founder of the Two Deep Zone. Hopefully, he's had lunch today and he's feeling good. Joins us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. Mike, welcome back.
Well, I'm glad to be back. I did have lunch, and I got away from the Marriott Starbucks without any of the other reporters trying to jump me.
Were you in the building for that?
I was not in the building for that, but let me tell you, that news went across the Indianapolis press pool like wildfire. We all had a laugh about it, and now the story is completely meaningless from what we just learned.
Yes, it is meaningless. He's staying with the Rams. But before you move on, then give me 15 seconds on. So the big fight between Schultz and Rappaport was based on, well, A, what did you make of when you heard this story, this fishtail? How rough and tumble did it get in the Starbucks? Was it a big yelling match, or was it just, did a guy knock a latte out of somebody's hand? What happened?
It was a yelling and cussing match, and it was Schultz was the aggressor on it, and Rappaport was trying to sort of not turn this into a thing. And you know, it stopped before it turned into a thing. It really was a lot of shouting. It was over that fishtail, like you said, this report about Stafford and Brady meeting in Montana and who was covering it accurately. And you know, sometimes we have beefs like this. And sometimes they got out of hand, but it was the wildest thing that I've ever heard about that didn't involve two Eagles reporters. That's a different category.
So what is your initial reaction to this Stafford news as far as what it means for the Rams?
You know, I don't think the Rams ever really wanted him to go. I think the Rams wanted to make sure that the price point on the extension was where they were comfortable with. And when the sides were not necessarily in the same ballpark, they said, well, you know, why don't you gauge your interest? It's a very mature professional way of doing that, in my opinion, as opposed to, say, how the Browns are doing things with Myles Garrett, but that's another matter. So you know, Stafford apparently had a lot of meetings. There was a lot of talks, whispers, rumors, some things being talked about with Giants, certainly a lot with the Raiders. I think what they came back with, there was no way to make all the parties happy, and so Stafford came back and is now agreeing to a restructuring. I haven't looked at the details. Should get him more money without the Rams saying, oh, we're going to be paying you for your Aaron Rodgers years at the end of your career.
Right, so now we have to decide the impact of this across the NFL a little bit. And so give me your take on what you find is the most intriguing part of this. I know you can't predict the draft and all that, but we do have some free agent quarterbacks that are out there. They're not great choices, but they're guys. Some of them have a little brand power in Kirk Cousins, but, you know, coming off the injury and all that. The Aaron Rodgers pending retirement. Like, how much of this reverberates, do you think, the Stafford stain, or are we making too much of it?
No, you're not. The thing is, it's the difference between the dominoes falling, and now that the dominoes haven't fallen, like, we have to sort of restack things. So the Raiders are back in the market for quarterbacks. So they're a team that could look to a Shedeur Sanders. They're a team that could conceivably look to pick up Kirk Cousins to get them through a bridge year. That would be a trade, by the way. I don't think Cousins has been released yet, and I don't think he would be released until the exact last minute. You know, you're looking at Cam Ward and you're looking at Shedeur Sanders in the draft. That is it. And then when you look at, you said the free agent situation, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think there's anything serious going on there in any way. You know, there was a report that he was talking to the Giants. I cannot figure out what that was supposed to look like or what that was even supposed to mean. So you have a bunch of teams that will be seeking a guy like perhaps Sam Darnold. And that's where you're down to. You're down to a guy like Sam Darnold, who, of course, brought a team to the playoffs this year, but is not a guy we think of in 2025 as a franchise-defining player. So it felt like Stafford was the one guy who could move, who could reset the entire board. Now that hasn't happened, everybody's got to go back to the same old board.
So yesterday, we got a bit of an update on the Myles Garrett situation from Mary Kay Cabot over at Cleveland.com, and it sounds like Myles is unwilling to negotiate a contract extension. Your thoughts on how the Browns are approaching this, and your opinion on what you think they should do?
Yeah, and I joked earlier, contrast to Stafford's situation where the team says, you seem to be unhappy, you go explore some things, we'll explore some things, and then we'll meet again if we don't like what we hear. The Browns and Garrett are like, this is going to be a hostage situation. We will not trade you. We will not talk to you about it. You say you don't want any more money. That's not going to solve the problem. So they're going to turn this into a situation, and really on the Browns side, organizational side, where it's like they're going to lose the potential leverage they have in this guy. If they keep negotiating with themselves until they're over a barrel and it's like September 10th and he's not showing up, and then they have to make a trade. I really think there are some people in that building who would say, let's get open for business. Let's see if we can get another first-round pick this year, another first-round pick next year. Let's see what kind of crazy stuff the Commanders or Lions will put in front of us for a guy who could put them in the Super Bowl. Garrett could walk away happy. We can say nice things. You can put him in the Ring of Honor 10 years from now. You could do all of that stuff. I think some people in the Browns organization want to do that. I have a feeling this is a Haslam-level decision because it sounds like a Haslam-level decision, and everyone else now has to play along.
Mike Tanier with us, founder of the Two Deep Zone, talking combine in the NFL. Let's stick with the Browns here, and I want to get your feeling on what you think they should or will do with the quarterback position here. If they stick at 2, then they get potentially Shedeur or Cam, depending on what the Titans do. Or are you fearful that somebody might get into that number 1 spot and take a quarterback, which would just leave them 1? What's your gut?
As we all try to guess from what we're hearing here, the Titans look like they'll move the first overall pick to a quarterback-hungry team that wants Cam Ward, and that would probably be the Giants. Like, that's your most likely team. They only have to move up a couple spots, et cetera. The Raiders also could be that team. So once that happens, that puts the Browns at 2. I don't see Shedeur Sanders as a fit. When you look at Shedeur Sanders, first of all, his not 100% readiness. Secondly, the coach prime factor, the idea that Deion Sanders will be out there rattling cages a little bit. The Browns don't have a really good track record with situations like this. The Browns aren't necessarily a team that can absorb somebody who, might be a little higher maintenance. And that's where I would look at it and say, well, this is a team that should turn to Travis Hunter at this point. I can't say turn to Abdul Carter because I can't imagine trying to sell the fan base on, we eventually moved Myles Garrett, but here's a guy who's kind of like Myles Garrett. I don't know if that's the best move. You can come in, you can bring a Travis Hunter in, you can put him at corner, maybe you put him at receiver. I don't know what the long-term solution is at quarterback. It's so difficult with the Browns because of the way they line things up for themselves to figure out how they can get out of this. I know Kirk Cousins would be a possibility. That might be something they can pursue. Get somebody in there who's healthy and a professional for a year while you work on some of your other problems.
So, Mike, you're over there at Indy. Any interesting, prospect buzz going on? Anything as far as players, free agent stuff that we should be looking out for from the people that you're talking to out there in Indy over the last couple of days? Is there anything interesting that's jumped out to you that maybe we haven't heard yet?
It's hard to say because many of us were chasing our tails with Matthew Stafford or beating each other up over Matthew Stafford. And that was eating up a lot of the time there. So, now we're circling back to trying to get to know these players a little bit. And one thing we're discovering is that these defensive players are amazing. We have this amazing pool of young athletes coming out. Certainly it's one thing that happened earlier in the week. Most of the kids have come out and they're really great speakers and they've got clean situations. You look into the background and they're clean. One thing that happened a couple of days ago is one of the top edge rushers, Marshall's Mike Green, announced that he has a couple of sexual assaults in his background. And this is not something that was widely known in the media, although some NFL people told me they knew about it. So this has a lot of people saying, oh, my goodness, we thought this guy was a first-round pick, trying to figure things out on the back end, like what really happened, what the fallout's going to be, and where this young man might fall overall. But other than that, like I said, a lot of Matthew Stafford talk, and that's kind of been a sort of a cloud that hung over everything else.
Yeah, listen, it's interesting to me because it sounds like he certainly wanted to get more money out of the Rams. They said to him, well, go ahead, go see if you can get it elsewhere, and then see what you come back with. And so they kind of both, I'm not saying they both bluffed each other, but I think at the end of the day, they both would like to keep it together, and now they have. And I'll be curious to see, because all we heard over the last few days was how much the Giants were willing to pay him. So and I said last segment, it's always about money. And maybe in this particular instance, it was only about a certain level of money for Stafford. Because if the Big Blue had discussed a $100 million contract with him, then if it was only about money, then certainly he probably would have gone. That's why I'm very curious to see what the Rams leveled up to, Mike.
Yeah, I don't have any of the particulars yet. And it's about money, but with a team like the Giants pursuing a 37-year-old quarterback, and he can look at their offensive line and say, will I get broken? Will this just be a terrible year that reflects badly on me? And he might balk at that and say, well, gosh, I thought I could be on one of these other teams. And that's another reason why I look at this story that Aaron Rodgers talked to the Giants. It's like the Giants cannot protect any of their quarterbacks right now. They're not in a position to win anytime soon. You can argue that some of these other teams are in better position to win anytime soon. So I don't know why these big-time veterans are going to the Giants or the Giants are going to them when the veteran at the end of the day will say, I can't play there. I'm going to get injured. I don't want to do that.
Well done, my man. Stay safe in all those Starbucks around the city. You never know when something might jump off.
Well, that's it. I'm keeping my mouth shut and my head down.
Well done, man. Continue the great work. Thanks, Mike. Be well.
You got to take care. Enjoy your week.
Thanks. Mike Tanier was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, we got a Buckeye Bulletin on deck here, Maddie, and we got Ryan Day cruising on the high seas, and he talks about the quarterbacks and what his room will feel like this spring. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game. That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
Save a good deal more at Meijer during the 7 for $7 sale going on now. Pay just $1 each when you mix or match any 7 or more on participating items, like Meijer frozen vegetables, Bush's beans, Red Gold canned tomatoes, Meijer facial tissue, and Powerade sports drink. Getting more for your money with the Meijer 7 for $7 sale. Now that's the good life. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
For the Blue Jackets, the magic happens on the ice. But for Blue Jackets fans looking for an amazing getaway, the real Florida magic is here in Central Florida's Polk County. From the natural beauty of Bok Tower Gardens, to the all-ages fun at Legoland Florida Resort, to the chance to do some luxurious glamping on a working dude ranch, it's all here. Even better, it's all just minutes from other area theme parks, too. Discover everything we offer and plan your trip to see the real Florida at visitcentralflorida.com today.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
The Stadium Series is coming, and we're ready with 5 hours of pregame. Join Baker, Reeser, Tyvus, Rothman, and Jeff Rimmer as they get you ready for Jackets hockey at the Shoe.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida.
Saturday at 8 on The Fan.
Back in the studio with a return visit from
Todd Schmelt.
Todd, the last time you were with us, you claimed to be
the dumbest person in Columbus.
You're being really hard on yourself.
Not in the least. You know what I got?
I hate to ask.
One of them thermostats with the dial and the needle. Woo, woo, woo.
Maybe that's not modern, but not.
What am I? Eli Whitney, Elias Howe, Johann Gertis?
I don't know who those people are.
Those are old-timey people from the 19th century, and that's me. Outdated, like my silly old thermostat.
Okay, look, you're not the dumbest guy in Columbus. You just haven't called Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Those those guys. Whether it's the latest technology, fixing your furnace, or a brand new system, they know all the stuff so you don't have to.
I don't have to know it all.
Nah, you just have to know the pros who knows.
Apex Pros. I'm not the dumbest guy in Columbus.
I didn't even know who Johann Gertis was.
Inventor of the gas-powered unicycle. Look it up, doy.
Okay, you don't have to be me.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros, the pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the chill? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train furnaces, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Ryan Day cruising on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. And Dom Tiberi is with him and asked him about not really technically the battle at quarterback right now, but how this room will feel because of the inexperience following a guy like Will Howard.
I think the thing for that whole quarterback room is they've been able to see what great leadership looks like from what Will did this season. And now it's time for those guys to step up. And so it's going to be a great spring.
It'll be a fun spring. I think most people have it right. I think we had it right last year. That you wouldn't have gone out to get Will Howard if you didn't feel he had what it took to lead you. Now, he's still got to do it, and it's still got to happen. But he was the front runner, and we all knew it. And then the stuff that we're not privy to, which is follow the money and how much they have invested in each guy.
There you go.
And from an NIL standpoint, and we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's probably a very big thing. And now, that's not the be-all, end-all. It doesn't mean that Ryan Day and Brian Hartline couldn't say, well, yeah, we got a little more invested in this guy, but look what this guy's doing over here. That could happen. They're human beings. They're athletes, and not everybody performs the best when the lights are the brightest. But he's going to have a situation here with Julian saying that you hand the keys to him. You said it yesterday, and I thought it was a great point. They don't have the runway if they had to figure it out. They do. I guess they do in an expanded era, because if you lose the game, it's not the end of the season, like it wasn't maybe in seasons past. But if you remember last year, when you have Akron and Western Michigan and Marshall, if you have a quarterback controversy, you can work it out and iron it out. This year, the decision out of the gate is very massive. Because if you make the wrong decision last year, maybe not wrong's not the right word, maybe just a decision that you're not quite sure of, and you don't blast, Akron 52-6, you beat them 28-20. They're like, okay, not the greatest, but we won the game.
Yeah.
Like the question this year will be very interesting on who's the readiest out of the gate.
No doubt. And you talk about that banger of a game, or what could be a banger of a game against Texas. And then following that is 2 home games, which you like to see, right? When you're breaking in a new quarterback, is for him to catch some type of momentum going into Washington. That'll be the first road trip for Ohio State. So it's Texas, Grambling, OU, that being the Ohio Bobcats, and then Washington. So Julian's he's got momentum behind his name. And Coach Day is going to make everybody earn it, because those guys haven't proven anything as far as games that matter, that being Lincoln, that being Tavian St. Clair, and then obviously the aforementioned Julian Sayin. But he's got the buzz around him right now, and I think CB has a clip from Will on the quarterback room. CB, just let me know when you're ready for that. Will was over at the Combine and just talked about the guys in that room now.
We just had a great vibe in that room, and we had a lot of fun together. And I'm excited for them to, kind of take over and be the guys going forward, because, Julian coming in, he's a little soft-spoken guy. He's quiet, but, now it's his time. Now it's Lincoln and Tavian and those guys, and I'm excited for them, man. I hope that I could have had, a little bit of an impact on them, and, gave some of the things that I've learned from some of the guys that were, above me when I was at Kansas State, like Adrian and Skyler, and some of the guys that I learned from there. I hope I could have left some nuggets with them and showed them, at the very least, how to treat people, and how to work hard, and all those different things. And I mean, I'm rooting for those guys, man. I'm pulling for them. We still stay in contact, so I'm gonna be pulling for the Buckeyes big time next year.
how to be a leader. That's what he's saying there. And all that, at the end of the day, he's saying, I hope they saw what it took to be a leader. Mm-hmm. It'll be fun.
The way my crazy mind works is it's his time is all I heard. Because we played Denzel's clip yesterday where he essentially said he's the dude, right? And look, they're privy to more information than we are. Clearly seeing those guys every day in practice. But Julian, there was smoke around his name last year when Will was in the middle. Oh, could Julian be the quarterback too? Could he be the backup right away as a true freshman? So I just can't wait to see what his skill set looks like. Hopefully in this spring showcase we get to see, what his arm talent is about, his mobility is about, actually all of the guys that are in that room. Because it's not stamped that he's the guy. It should, even these little words, and these guys know their teammates and friends better than we do. Mm-hmm. That should light a fire under those guys too. That if they're sensing what you're sensing, which I am sensing, that there's a little truth to everything, then there's something there. Because he's smart enough to know, how to talk to the media. And you could hear in that clip, like, it's his time, and then he went to the guys down the line and was kind of saying it could be their time too, and I wouldn't be surprised if he caught himself in that moment to try to clean it up a little bit, but I'm probably overthinking it, so I don't know.
No, I don't think you are.
Okay.
You're dealing with guys that are now out of the program, still connected to the program, feel like they can speak a little more freely without giving it all away. Mm-hmm. That's not something they'd be saying if they were a part of the program, I don't think.
Probably not.
If they were current teammates, they'd play it right down the middle. But they've got some good quarterbacks.
Yep.
And now they're going to have to learn on the fly and be ready to go. And that's the most difficult part about it. But the beauty of the expanded playoff, which we have seen, which is you really have to be at your best when it counts, and that's what they were last year. And you do get a couple of... You don't want to play it this way every year. You don't want to try to come from an 8 seed and try to win all those games if you can. And I know people talked about that. Well, maybe it was more important. They didn't play in the Big Ten title game. Each team's different. Each personality of each team, what each team needs at that moment in time is different. And what that Ohio State team needed after the Michigan game was to not be in a Big Ten title game, circle the wagons, have 3 weeks, get a home game, have the gauntlet in front of them, see the bracket and say, this is our pathway to freedom and to being immortal at Ohio State.
100%. And another thing that worked out in their favor outside of a couple spots on the offensive line was overall health. It was pretty good this year, right? We weren't talking about guys missing 4 weeks, 6 weeks. You had Josh Simmons and Seth, but a lot of the heavy hitters, right, outside of that, they were there and they were available. And that's just the luck you got to have on your side, because that's what it is when we're talking about this sport and health.
Running backs,
right?
Receivers.
Those guys were there, right? And so that was a great part of the equation, too, was, yes, they went out there, redirected themselves in the positive way, coming out of that Michigan loss. But, man, the guys that you wanted around playing a whole bunch of snaps week in and week out, for the most part, did exactly that. And so it just all came together well for them, and it's a story that will be remembered forever.
And let's let Denzel Burke kind of put a ribbon on that. What motivated them to win it all?
Just understanding what we want as a team, getting together with my brothers, understanding that we didn't have any hardware, so, we wanted to do something for each other, for our head coach, and for the state of Ohio, and we got it done.
You did indeed.
No doubt. That class, right? You talk about Denzel and Jack and JT that will always have that sting of the Michigan game. Got that hardware, and the biggest piece of hardware that you can get. Congrats to them.
It makes everything better. Mm-hmm. Everything.
No doubt.
Doesn't take away that you couldn't beat them. You didn't get your rival, but it's close. It's close. It's 100%. The closest they could get, and they took advantage of it. All right, there's your Buckeye Bulletin for today. We'll have a lot to do here in the final hour of the program, including Mike Rupp, the former Jacket NHL Network analyst, will jump on at 2:30 with us, so don't go anywhere. And then the top of the hour, the big domino is going back, and now one team is looking at all their options at quarterback, including one particular guy. But it's going to take one team to help them do it. You'll find out what that means next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Get President's Day deals all month long at Coghlan Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4 LXS, just $131 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoghlanKia.com.
1.9% for 60 months equals $17.48 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over. 3401 due. Excludes $250 dock fee. $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 3/3/25.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
What does living your best nonstop life mean to you? Cheering on your team at that big game? A music festival with friends? A family vacation? Or maybe a vacation from your family? Live your best nonstop life with low fares and nonstop flights only at Allegiant.com.
Non-stop flights from Columbus to Fort Lauderdale, one way for as low as $44. Must be purchased by 4/24/2025 for travel between 3/13/2025 and 8/17/2025. Seats and dates are limited. Restrictions apply. See Allegiant.com for details.
You hungry? You know you are. We got chicken fingers, crunchy, fries are golden crispy, baby. Yo, don't forget about the cane sauce, baby. Ooh, here's the spot. Hello.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more.
With
with auto pay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without auto pay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Top of the afternoon to you. I'm Cole Bartimus. The Four Nations break appears to be just what the doctor ordered for this Blue Jackets team. Pardon me for reminding you, but the Blue Jackets had lost 4 games in a row prior to the break. Now, on the other side of that break, they have won their first 3 games. This time, a 5-2 victory over Detroit last night. The Jackets and Red Wings are currently knotted at 66 points and are taking up both Eastern Conference wildcard spots. That means that tomorrow's rematch in the Stadium Series is going to be even more significant than it already would be. We over here at 97.1 The Fan are excited for this game in the shoe tomorrow, and we got some specialty programming leading up to that. We'll have local programming going on from 8 a.m. all the way through the game. Mad About Hoops, Fan Sports Saturday, and then a pair of pregame shows. Reeser, Baker, and Tyvis, that's going to be the lineup for the first pregame show. That's going to be noon to 3. And then Rothman and Rimmer, that's going to be 3 to 5, leading you right into CBJ game coverage. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, back at it, final 60 for us. Before we send you into the weekend, we've got Mike Rupp coming up, former Jacket NHL Network analyst, 2:30. We'll get his take on the outdoor game and the edge that the Jackets are playing with right now, as they feel like they look like just a relentless team. Doesn't matter whether they're winning, losing, whatever. There's no putting them down. And right now they're getting everything they need out of this team, and they're scoring at an incredible clip. And hopefully they can continue that at the Stadium Series and stay in this hunt to make the playoffs. We do have some big news with the NFL, Maddie, and that Stafford is staying with the Rams. This is, I don't know if it's a big surprise to people. Maybe it should be, based on the fact that the Rams, called his bluff and said, go ahead and go look for a team. And that sounded to me like the Giants were going to pay him a enormous sum for a 37-year-old quarterback. And I guess that was something that he either used to level up to stay with the Rams and leverage, that maybe he didn't need to get to $100 million with the Giants, that he could settle for a little less to stay in L.A., which is probably where he wanted to stay anyway. But I think the Giants, it sounds like the Giants put their best foot forward, really, and he turned around and stayed with the Rams.
Yes, they're desperate for a quarterback, that being the Giants, so that makes total sense. What I'm very fascinated to see is, what does the money look like? My gut is telling me that because of the Rams knowing where Stafford is age-wise, but also respecting where he is currently with his play, that they're going to be comfortable with front-loading this, maybe for a year or two, and getting him in that 52 to 55 window, maybe for next season and the season after that. I'd be very surprised if the money is stretched out over 3 years or something like that, maybe even 4 at that clip. So he's 37, I think we've said a few times. So that's where my head is at, AR, when I heard the word restructure, that both parties can look at it and say, okay, Matthew, we're hitting you with a whole bunch of money that you deserve and have earned and clearly want, and we don't feel like we're going to be, attached to a quarterback in his late 30s, maybe even early 40s at that number. So I think that's where we're at. And that would make sense to me.
Well, the Giants were never going to trade the number 3 pick to the Rams and pay him $55 million or whatever.
No.
I think that, and that may be what kind of slowed this thing down at the end. Like what they would have to give up aside from actually paying him. It's not a free agent. It's not like he can just go shop himself around. He can, like they said, go and see if a trade could work. But for the Rams, it had to work on both sides. It had to really work that they were getting the compensation back that they felt he was worth. I agree with you. I think the Rams borrowed money from future years to give them the bump they did in the past. So they're just following their game plan they did before. I thought maybe they weren't willing to do that this time around, but now they just proved they were. So I don't know whether the Steelers were willing to trade real assets and pay him big star quarterback money. The Steelers would have to give up a first or a second round pick and then pay him again where he wants to be, north of $50 million or more. So, I don't know whether the $50 million was just a starting point and he wants at least that much for 2025. I agree with you. It's probably going to look that way. He's going into the third year of this 4-year deal. That it doesn't expire till after the 26th season. But here's what he knows. He knows there are 9 quarterbacks currently making at least $50 million a year, and he thinks he should be one of them. Because when I go down the list of Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champ, Lamar Jackson MVP, Herbert, yet to be seen, Jared Goff has been close, Tua, that doesn't look that great of an investment now. Jordan Love, you're still kind of in that camp of, yeah, he can be the guy. Trevor Lawrence, better go out and earn it. Joe Burrow, we think he's definitely worth it, but he's not been to the top of the mountain based on the team, the completeness of the Bengals. And then Dak, who's a talent, but on a messed up,
good for Dak,
island of misfit toys.
CB, can you do me a favor? Can we play the career earnings game for Dak? Because I know he's not done yet, but where he's at now and the return.
No idea.
The return.
It's too much to even think about.
He's giving Dallas. I would love to know where Dak is right now when we talk career earnings to this point, because my goodness, man, that dude, he's going to bed every night with a big grin.
All right, we can play the game. You want to guess it?
Yeah. I'm going to say to this point, Dak has made...
So the number I have is through 2025, so I believe it's going to be through this upcoming season.
He's in the $100 million club. Is he?
Easily.
Let's 180. My high or low?
You're low.
Really? My goodness.
By a decent amount.
Where do you think he's at?
My SI cover that I had him sign was worth this much.
230?
You're getting close.
That sounds close. My over-under was going to be a quarter of Bill, so I was going to say 250.
250?
Yeah.
Just a little over. It's 248.
Yeah.
And they have, a couple of postseason wins to show for it? If that. This timing is everything. Same way we've been talking about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is the bell at the ball right now, especially that Stafford's out of the equation. Sam Darnold's contract isn't going to be anything outrageous, but that's what happened with Dak. Dak got injured. He got lucky. They paid him the first time, and then you looked around, and Jerry Jones again had to say this past off season, what are we going to do without this guy? And because of his age and him being in his early 30s, he was able to negotiate a $60 million contract a year.
It's a team sport. I mean, I can sit here and say that Dak's 2-5 in the playoffs, and he should get nowhere near this kind of money. But quarterbacks are getting overpaid left and right. It's the market. I get it. There's only 32 jobs in the world, and if they got one of them, they should cash in. But only one guy on that list that I mentioned, that I just went through, Hurts, Lamar, Herbert, Goff, Tua, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott. All the guys in the 50 mil club, there's only one guy that's got a Super Bowl, like Stafford, and that's the guy who just got one. So Stafford's saying, wait a minute, all these guys are getting paid 50 plus? I have a ring? They're looking at him saying, well, let's start comparing age and longevity to this, because those other guys still have a career outside of Tua, which I have no idea whether he's going to be able to hold up physically.
That's fair.
So, and Dak has been injured, and Joey's had injuries. And so when you're paying a guy this amount of money, you either feel like you're right there and he's going to put you over the top, or you've got the runway to get it done. And with Stafford, it's interesting to me. This is probably where he needed to be. These quarterback desperate teams, I'm not saying that you get Stafford and the Giants with neighbors, things start to level up. Then they become a real player in that division with Washington. But
they're not close,
But
though.
yeah, and the Raiders aren't close. You and I feel that the Steelers are a very well-run organization, but
they're closer than the Giants. Much closer, in my opinion, much closer than the Giants.
Put Stafford on the Steelers with Tomlin.
That would move me.
You get another weapon or two for him, or somehow, and all of a sudden you got to protect him. That's the key too, because an aging quarterback, you better have a good offensive line. Let me get to the quick story that I teased. The Giants are now looking at Aaron Rodgers. This is according to Albert Breer and Diana Rossini. The difference is the Jets have to cut him first.
CBD,
and they can't really control what he does.
Do you have a Crickets soundbite? Because that's how I feel about this.
When I mention Aaron Rodgers?
It does nothing.
Yeah.
It does nothing.
What do they see? Well, I see it too, right? You're buying into.
Thank you. This is Aaron Rodgers to the Giants.
Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP,
come on.
First team All-Pro.
He's done, man. He's done being
Four-time NFL passing rating
to drag anybody to anywhere of significance. So Aaron Rodgers to the Giants.
You mean he's a little further than a dark room away from being the man again? How long would he have to stay in that room to come out a champ in your mind?
I don't know. There is an amount. What do you, in your opinion, what does Aaron Rodgers do for the Giants next year?
It's a magic arm still. He can't move. That's the problem. He can't move like he used to.
It does nothing for them.
It doesn't. It's not Stafford.
They're
That's for
finishing
sure, right?
third in the division at last. They're finishing last. If Aaron Rodgers went to the Giants, I think all of us would still take Dallas, Philly, and Washington ahead of them. They're not a playoff team with him.
Not a playoff team with him in the NFC.
No way. With how good the North is.
Detroit, Philly, the Rams.
I don't even know why you're giving it this much brain power. They're not getting
Green Bay, Washington.
Exactly.
I got two more slots.
Coming back.
I got San Fran, my comeback team. So I got one slot that would go to either
the Rams,
Tampa.
Somebody's got to get in.
Somebody's got to get in.
Baker's been balling.
The Giants.
No,
the Giants.
Not. They'd be
I'm with you.
A 5 to 6 win team at best with him, especially facing the teams within their division that they would have to see twice.
Right.
So, I get what the Giants are thinking.
Kind of stinks for him because I thought the Stafford move the Rams might be like, all right, let's just bridge this somehow. But who wants to pay him that amount of money? That's the real question. It is amazing. All right, when we come back for pre-snap, Maddie, there is a prospect that has uttered the phrase, "Don't pick me."
You can't be serious.
I will tell you who it is and the context of it. Next, Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
A Tim Hortons treat with Nutella is the perfect way to add a little joy to your day, whatever your day brings. Imagine reading your book with a smooth hazelnut mocha iced cap topped with Nutella, or tackling your to-do list with a delicious croissant filled with Nutella and whipped sweet cream. And when you're heading to the office, grab a hazelnut mocha iced coffee with cold foam, because there's nothing better than combining that irresistible Nutella taste with your favorite Tims. Treat yourself with the Nutella lineup, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants, naturally and artificially flavored.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring's going to be here before you know it. I know it feels cold now, but before too long, you're going to be outside running around, jogging, wanting to do golf, explore time with your family. Get outside and do the things you love. Just be active. And listen, a lot of my friends, they're asking me about QC Kinetics joint treatments. They want to know if they should consider it for their joint pain. And if you're wondering, maybe you could be a good candidate, let's see if the answer is yes to any of these questions. Quality of life impacted by chronic pain, knees, hips, back, shoulders, other things. Trouble sleeping, walking, day-to-day movement? Check. Next, avoiding surgery, the pain, the downtime? Check. Most importantly, do you miss doing the things I talked about when the spring and summer are here? Check. Don't wait. If you answered yes to one or any of those, you'd be a great candidate. You can go in there, go to QC Kinetics, ask for their free consultation, find out what it's all about, learn about the latest advances in regenerative medicine. They've got locations in Dublin and Gehenna, or you can go to qckinetics.com/Columbus, or better yet, call 380-208-4544.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa.
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic.
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yeah, let's go.
That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect windy conditions this afternoon with southwesterly winds sustained around 25 miles per hour, potentially gusting up to 50 miles per hour. We have a wind advisory set until 7 o'clock this evening. And with those southwesterly winds, we'll boost up to the mid-50s for highs this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Tonight, I expect increasing clouds as we fall through the 50s and into the 40s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Kalora.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Free Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Maddie, Bet365 time.
Yes, sir. Let me talk to you like I'm LA Knight and let you know that at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 has launched a new sign-up offer. Listen to this. You bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Customers will receive bonus bets after signing up. We get Cavs Celtics tonight. Can't ask for much more than that on a Friday night. Well, actually you can, but you know what I'm saying. I'm looking at Kristaps Porzingis, the big-time big man for the Celtics. Give me three-pointers made for the man that they call the unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. The juice on that is plus 115. Cavs Celtics tipping at 7:30 on ESPN.
How about this? How about I pull a Maddie and I lean in on that and say, not only that, let me grab him at plus 550 to score the first hoop of the game.
Okay. I like it.
Let's just throw some money in the middle and light a match.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for that. Is that all? Nothing for tomorrow? Should we look at tomorrow? Any specials for tomorrow?
I don't think.
Let me see
I don't know what lines
here
would be. We got some college hoop lines that
I'm talking Red Wings and Jackets. Give me Fantilli for the first goal tomorrow too.
We're going to throw out first goal.
Plus 1,200. 12-1, Fantilli.
I like it. Marchie's at 1,200 as well.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah.
Were you inspired by seeing Fantilli on this, looks like, one-on-one interview with Marty Smith?
No, I did not see that.
Marty's in town? On the bus doing an interview.
Okay.
They've got their team for this is the absolute, they've got Ray Ferraro in town, who's an outstanding analyst. Weeksy's in town, Marty Smith, Emily Kaplan, You've got, I know Levy and Messier and PK are going to be in the studio, but.
So they brought the Avengers to town.
They really did.
They brought the Avengers to town. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only. You must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, let's rip through a couple of these, CB. The one that I just sent you on the Twitter machine, I'll let you get that up and running.
Twitter.
Exactly. So this would be from the NFL Combine. And Shedeur Sanders believes, and why shouldn't he has the ability to come in and instantly change an NFL franchise. But he had a very interesting bite. Is this the one that I sent you, CB? Okay. He's making the case on why NFL teams should pick him, but he's not really concerned with being picked first by the Titans.
If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why NFL franchise should pick me. You think I'm worried about what critics say or what people got to say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too. So it's like, it's almost normal. Without people hating, it's not normal for us. So we like diversity. We like everything that comes with the name. That's why we are who we are.
It's the most unbelievable soundbite, and I think it is genuine to him. It's really something if you went into any interview in your life, if you looked at the person interviewing you, like whether it's for sales or anything, or selling cars or whatever, if you don't want to sell 30 cars a month, don't hire me. You really throw them on tilt right away. If you're not interested in turning around your franchise, don't get me.
The standard is the standard.
It's unbelievable.
My standard is high.
Don't let my confidence offend your insecurities.
And I think that type of confidence can be something that can bring a team together, get guys going, and rally around them as a leader. Clearly, you got to go out there and deliver. That's the most important part. But I think that can have guys believing in you, right? When they hear their quarterback and the face of the franchise having that type of, some people may call it arrogance. I like it. I think, when you back it up the way that Shedeur has the last couple of years at Colorado, I think he's a special talent or can be a special talent. I saw Dan Orlovsky say the other day, just looking at some of the film that he was watching with Colorado, that they've done a horrible job protecting him. A horrible job the last couple of years. And so he fought through that. He delivered the rock, I thought, at a pretty high clip. And I think he's going to be a top 7 pick at worst. And I can't wait to see how it translates to the league, because I do think he's got good arm talent. He's got good accuracy. And I think that's the building blocks you want to have when you talk about a potential franchise quarterback.
Well, there's a certain team picking number 2 currently, the Orange and Fudge. And here's Sanders on why he might be the guy to turn them around.
Because I've done it at 2 locations already, so it's simple. So that's why when people say I'm not, one of the top quarterbacks or the top quarterback, is what are y'all going based off of? Because I did it year after year after year, then you see the progression. So it's like, obviously, it got to be some type of external hate that you have for the family, for the last name, for anything, because I know I proved myself on the field.
What he said right there at the end is real. I know there's some people that don't like the way that Dion and the Sanders family goes about their business. And so it happened right away when Colorado struggled a little bit in year 1, and that people were coming out and taking their victory laps, and the respect wasn't as loud as the disrespect in year 2. And I don't like when people do that, and that follows them around. And so for Shedeur, he's built for that because they bring it on themselves, and they know that. But I think that's also something that helps fuel him to become a better player and continue to grind.
So here's where I'll maybe disagree slightly, just slightly, in that if he sounded a little bit, took it personally that maybe he's not the best. Just by somebody thinking he's not the best doesn't mean he's the worst. It means maybe he's second, or maybe he's in the eye of the beholder of a different team, of what they have and the weaponry and the system they have. So you heard the beginning of that soundbite, Maddie, him talking about how, if you don't think I'm the best, then it's got to be hate. I don't think that's true at all. I think somebody can like Cam Ward a little better than him for whatever reasons they have. And it's splitting hairs a little bit. So I think he's using it a little bit as motivation. It's also the bravado that he has, the confidence he has about wanting to be number one. But the only thing I would disagree on is him saying, well, if you don't think I'm the best, then it's got to be personal. I don't agree with that. All right, let's hear what else.
Well, real quick, I'll say this too. These guys, they're not just Shedeur. Professional athletes look for anything.
That's what I'm saying. It's his bravado.
Michael Jordan talked about on the Last Dance that he looked at somebody in the stands, was waiting for somebody to look at him wrong or something for him to get going. Like that's I don't mind any of that.
But it sounded like this wasn't motivation from an athletic standpoint. This was more of if you don't think I'm the best, then you must have something personal against me. And I
is that exactly what he said?
That's how I heard. Let's hear it again. Maybe I heard it wrong. Let's hear.
I'm sorry, you want to do the first one or the second one?
The second one, CB.
The second one.
Because I've done it at 2 locations already, so it's simple. So that's why when people say I'm not, one of the top quarterbacks or the top quarterback, is what are y'all going based off of? Because I did it year after year after year, and you see the progression. So it's like, obviously, it got to be some type of external hate that you have for the family, for the last name, for anything, because I know I proved myself on the field.
No, I got ultimate respect for his athletic ability. He said, if you don't think I'm one of the top quarterbacks or not the top quarterback, then it must be some external hate. No, you might just think Cam Ward's a little better, and it's your job to prove him wrong. So that's all. That's I said. I would slightly disagree with what he said.
It's funny to me how people they get so emotional about he and his dad. Like it's funny to me how people just they ruffle feathers.
They push buttons for sure.
They ruffle feathers, but it's like I don't know why people let them ruffle their feathers either. Like that's how I look at it. I think it's all great for the game. I really do, to have these type of characters within the game.
Yeah, listen, there's a fine line between being a character and just being an arrogant guy, and I think he can back it up. He's certainly got the talent for it, and we'll see. It feels like he's going to go 2 and not 1 as far as the quarterbacks go, but somebody might surprise us.
Yeah.
CB's Brownies might say, no, we're buying into everything he's saying, and we're not going to take a chance, and we're going to call the Titans and give him a second-round pick and make sure we get our guy. I don't know. When I asked Schefter that, he thought it was possible.
Absolutely is. You don't want to mess around and get sniped if you're the Browns.
Can we play the quick one with Cam Ward? He met with the Browns.
It went real good. Being able to meet with the GM, finally meet the quarterbacks coach in person, the OC as well. They do an unbelievable job on offense, getting people open. They got an unbelievable offensive line. Jerry Judy's one of the best receivers in the league. So, if I'm hoping to go there, I know it'll work out good.
I'd like to know how many best receivers in the league, how long that list is. He's one of the best receivers in the league.
Statistically, he was in that conversation for a little bit last year.
All right, we come back in 2 minutes with Mike Rupp, NHL Network analyst. What's the ceiling for the Jackets? He'll tell us. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hitting a hole in one into your ear hole. Ew. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, if the novelty of it wasn't enough, the Red Wings and Jackets are tied at 66 points. Jackets have won all 3 out of the gate after the Four Nations break. They're on fire now, and they get the Red Wings back here in the Horseshoe for the Stadium Series and a rival game that's going to, if the place had a roof, would be blown off. It's going to be amazing tomorrow. We're going to need a little bit of that with the frigid temps that are coming in. Mike Rupp, former Jacket, Lakewood St. Ed's, the guy from the NHL Network. You know him, you love him. He'll be here for the Stadium Series, and he'll be on NHL Now tonight at 5 o'clock. Rupper, welcome back.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing great. We got a hockey team to talk about. This is not a novelty anymore. You know, I would think we'd bring you on. We would talk about the Stadium Series a lot and the outdoors and the challenge of playing outdoors, but this is a game that matters. How much does that level up what we're going to see tomorrow?
Well, I'll tell you what, just to be fully transparent, when I got the news that this was going to be the site of the Stadium Series, and you always wondered, like, all right, who's the matchup going to be? And I saw the Red Wings. I mean, I think the initial knee-jerk is, hey, being from Ohio, I just love it. Ohio's finally getting their outdoor game, and I'm just a big fan of just hockey growing in Ohio, so that's great, but I didn't love the matchup, where I'm like, oh, this could be bad. Like, how are you going to fill the place? Like, how are you going to – I had a lot of questions, but, I mean, both teams have answered that in big ways this year and taken tremendous steps. Man, Columbus is they're a fun team to watch. Like they are the real deal as far as they're very entertaining. I mean, there's nights where they'll score 6. I mean, to be frank, there's nights where they'll give up 6. It's exciting hockey, but they're winning and they're finding ways right now. And I love what this team is doing. And when you talk about an outdoor game, I've played in 2. I've covered probably 10 or so, and with the NHL Network, it's hard to find real, genuine matchups that have playoff implications. This does. I mean, it screams it, and the good thing about it too, being Stadium Series where we're at right at the start of March, it's a lot different than being at the Winter Classic at the first day of January. Like you were a week away from trade deadline, and then you're in the home stretch, so I'm excited for this game.
Mike, you mentioned a couple games that you played outdoors. Take us inside that mindset for a player and what those guys are going to be going through. It's supposed to be really cold outside tomorrow. Like, is there a drastic change that those guys are going to go through, or will it be pretty similar to what they deal with inside?
Well, I think the big thing, so I'm here right now, and they strategically make these practices today. So you got the Jackets on at 4:30, the Red Wings on at 6:30. So it's really important. And to come at that same time or trying to get things close to what game time is so you can get the sight lines, the way the sun's hitting, the glares you're going to get. I mean, those are the biggest things for me. I would probably say that the weather is, especially with what it's projected to be, it's nothing. I mean, you're going to go in there and you're going to get tables of different type of cold wear and all these different things. If you have the option to wear, you might wear them for practice today, but usually guys take those off and they just want to get back to the norm. And whatever you wear inside Nationwide Arena, you're going to probably wear out here. It's just not going to be that much different. The big thing though is just the glares, and then there's the hard part too. That the adjustment is the sounds. I mean, you're up on a platform here, so when you go into the corner, even though there's going to be 95,000 plus people in this stadium, you're going to hear footsteps because it's like this hollow sound, and you got more time than you think. All those little things you got to work out here on practice day. So you want to enjoy it and have all the family friends in town, but this is probably the most important thing, just to kind of feel comfortable with your surroundings.
Joined by the former Jacket NHL Network analyst Mike Rupp. He's going to be live from the Stadium Series today during NHL Now. That'll be at 5 o'clock tonight, plus before and after tomorrow's game from Ohio Stadium. How tough is it on the goalies, Mike?
I don't care about goalies. They're the ones they just stop. No, it's tough. I've talked to guys in the past. Like, you sit there, and that's where it's at, where you talk about the glare. Because we've seen teams sometimes change in a hockey game. Obviously, every period you're switching ends, and sometimes they'll do it halfway through the second period just to make it even, because maybe depending on what the situation is and whatever stadium we're at, there might be something that's not really that beneficial for one goalie, and they want to make it fair. So we'll see if any of that comes into play. The other hard part is just the background. Like in an NHL arena, you've got fans right there. And I don't know, you'd probably have to ask a goalie more about this, but I even remember as a player, if the puck goes up in the air, because there's no backdrop immediately, like everything's set further back, your depth perception kind of gets messed up a little bit. So, yeah, I think if in these types of games, like if you're coming to dump the puck in, why not just put a slapper on net and see if the goalie can handle it?
Yep.
You know, one cool thing that we all got to watch not too long ago was Four Nations, Mike, and it was great following Z, our guy Zach Werenski, with the season that he's having, you know, individually, combined with what the Jackets are doing. It was cool. But just talk about what you thought of Four Nations and what that did for the sport. It
was the single biggest thing, I think, since Miracle on ice in 1980. I mean, not to be dramatic and go back to that. I mean, it was the biggest positive, I think, in hockey in the United States. And the crazy thing about it is I don't think anybody anticipated it being that big. I know that the players, and the one tough thing I know in other sports and different platforms are talking about it, probably because it took place of the All-Star game. This was never going to be or intended to be an All-Star event. So I know it happened, I think, the same weekend as NBA All-Star game. And I think a lot of the hype it got was like, oh, this is the NHL's what they replaced. No. This is a tournament of best on best, pride for your country that we've been without in hockey for 9 years. And we haven't had NHL players at the Olympics. We had the World Cup of Hockey in 2016, and it was big then. And it was bigger. I mean, we've been waiting for certain players to play for their country. The Connor McDavids, the Austin Matthews, the Jack Eichels, Nathan McKinnon, and we've been waiting for those things. We got to see it. So it was phenomenal, and Team USA was fantastic. I mean, it really captured, I think, every hockey fan, casual hockey fan, and really made a lot of new ones.
We are talking with Mike Rupp, Ohio's own Mike Rupp, scored a Stanley Cup clinching goal for the Devils. He's been to the top of the mountain. Give me your best sense on how much you trust this Jackets team to be in it till the end. They're right there. As I mentioned, they've won 3 out of the break. They're tied with the Wings. They're currently right there in the wild card. It's kind of a little bit of a cluster behind them. Boston's leaking oil. Ottawa's leaking. The Rangers are coming a little bit, but it feels like that these two teams we're going to see tomorrow kind of control the wild card situation. Where are you on the Jackets and their ceiling of contending?
So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. There's an opportunity this year with certain teams in the East that are struggling and we're not used to seeing struggling, like the Boston Bruins, the New York Rangers. Like, are those two teams going to be on the outside looking in? I would assume that they're going to do their best and probably figure some things out and win some hockey games down the stretch. Outside of them, there's a lot of teams I don't trust. I think they're inconsistent. And by saying that, that gives the Jackets a great opportunity. I think it's there for the taking. Like, there's no team, I guess, in my opinion, that's just going to all of a sudden turn it on and just, kind of climb into that playoff spot and bump them out. Like, if you play a good brand of hockey, trying to stop any of your losing to a game or two in a row and try to put 3 games together in a winning streak and just kind of go with that. They're going to get healthy. I think that's a big thing. They seem like they got the it factor, though. I mean, just covering this league, and watching the excitement around this team. And we all know what they're playing for and the hard stuff that this organization's been through in a number of years. And they just seem like they got something special going on. So that to me is dangerous. You're going to win hockey games with that. This one's going to be a big one here tomorrow.
Zooming out from, our Jackets right now and just looking at the league, Mike, for you, whether it's, Winnipeg or Dallas, Vegas, Washington, who do you look at right now as the most complete club in the sport?
The complete team and the most complete team in the NHL, I'd probably say is Winnipeg. They're probably they're not proven yet in playoff hockey. Have been able to win at that level. And then once you get outside them, I like the Vegas Golden Knights a lot. So 2 Western Conference teams. When you're talking about the East, though, I think that's what's so appealing for a team in a city like Columbus. I think you just got to get in. Like there's some good teams. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Florida Panthers are for real. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the Washington Capitals are for real. But it's not. You don't have the beast in the East. Like there's a lot of good teams, and then there's a lot of hungry teams. I think it's wide open in the Eastern Conference. So I'd love for this Jackets team to get in and see what they could do.
Well, you just nailed it, because I'm going to start calling it the Hunger Games tomorrow. That's for sure, between the Red Wings and the Jackets. You're the man, Rupper. Thanks. Happy you're back. Enjoy it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game.
Thanks. That's Mike Rupp, former Jacket, Lakewood St. Ed's, won a couple state titles, hoisted a Lord Stanley Cup, and he's on the NHL Now tonight at 5 o'clock, plus he'll be on before and after tomorrow's game from Ohio Stadium. We come back with Tell the Truth to wrap it up. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got a fitting personalized for you. From the moment you walk in the Good Feet store, they're going to take the time to understand your unique lifestyle, your daily routines, and most importantly, the pain that brought you in to see them in the first place. If your feet ache after a long day or that discomfort starts radiating through your knees, your hips, your back, I've been there. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And they're working for me. I walked all over the place in New Orleans covering the big game. I was loving it. I literally was walking for miles around the French Quarter, Canal Street, everywhere, because I had my personally fit arch supports in my shoes. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. I want you to be one of them. Go in, take the free test walk. They're immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or goodfeet.com.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
President's Day savings all month long at Germain Honda of Dublin. If you're searching for a Honda lease deal here in Central Ohio, you've come to the right place. Leasing allows you to enjoy flexibility in one of their sharp, reliable, awesome vehicles. I'm confident Rich and his team can tailor a lease that's right for you. Like a 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for $349 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $19.99 down. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Uline is expanding in Ohio with a 1.4 million square foot building, and they're looking for exceptional people to get this location up and running. The company has seen decades of growth, creating a stable work environment employees can count on. Warehouse workers earn pay starting from $25 an hour, plus substantial bonus programs and great benefits. They also offer multiple shifts and schedules to fit your life. Check out current Aetna job opportunities at uline.jobs/Ohio.
Scotty Vegas here, offering you a sure bet. If you choose Awaken 180, you will succeed. We all did. I dropped my 35 pounds. Austin dropped his 50, and Beam is almost down 52. What's stopping you? A sure bet at awaken180weightloss.com.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. Sundays at 11, it's The Fan Call-In Show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're welcome.
Are you turning 65? Are you looking for Medicare Advantage coverage? Great news! The Ohio State Health Systems and Mount Carmel Health Systems are in our provider network. Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plans include benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more. One of our licensed agents will answer your call. Call today, 1-888-76-AETNA. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area. Participating healthcare providers are independent contractors and are neither agents nor employees of Aetna. The availability of any particular provider cannot be guaranteed, and provider network composition is subject to change. Other physicians, providers are available in our network.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, CB, what you got?
All right, let's start off with Deebo Samuel. It sounds like the two teams that have been aggressively pursuing him in trade talks have been the Commanders and the Texans. So tell the truth. If you were in Deebo Samuel's shoes, which team would you rather go to?
Name them again.
The Commanders and the Texans.
Who's offering the most money at this point in my career?
That's a fair question.
Because honestly, I look at both situations football-wise, and they're both pretty darn good right now. I think CJ's going to have a smoother year 3 than Jaden's year 2. The sophomore stuff, I think, happens to some quarterbacks. So if you really are pinning me down to one, which I know you're doing, CB, I'm going to go with Houston. Like, I'd rather go to Houston, play opposite a pretty dominant force in Nico Collins. It sounds like they want to run it back with Joe Mixon, so we'll see if we can, mirror what he did a season ago. But at this point, if I'm Deebo, late 20s, early 30s, I believe he is, this is maybe my last chance at getting a lengthy contract. So I'm going to go with Houston.
I'm going to go Houston as well for athletic reasons. I feel like they're in a division that's very winnable, and I don't really want to mess with the Eagles twice a year. And if I'm Deebo and I want to take a bite at a title, I feel like the Texans have just a smoother pathway to get there from the AFC South.
Mr. Unlimited.
That is my next player I want to discuss because he, along with Justin Fields and Sam Darnold, this is coming from Schefter, are the veteran quarterback options that the Raiders are expected to investigate, apparently, now that Matthew Stafford is off the market. So the question is, Mr. Unlimited, Fields, or Darnold, who is the best fit for the Raiders?
It's Darnold. Take a chance on him with his age and what he has found a little bit. He's proven now, at least if you protect him and give him weapons, he's got talent. He's not a bust completely. And so I think Russ, we all know his best days are behind him. He can only take you so far. I think you roll the dice with Darnold. The money is certainly going to be a deterrent, I think, though, because you're just not sure whether he's going to be worth it, and he wants to get paid like a semi-franchise player. But from just a quarterback situation, I'd rather have Darnold.
Yeah, what you're saying makes a ton of sense. My mind goes to the Pete Carroll Russ thing, though, and me seeing that work before. Now, what you said with where Russ is with his game is the most important part. So they've got Chip Kelly now over there as their offensive coordinator.
It ended rocky.
No doubt it did. Yeah, there's no denying that. Part of me just wants to bet on Justin Fields. I don't want to commit to Sam Darnold. I don't want to do that. So I try to do a short-term deal with Justin and roll with him.
You can't handle the truth.
He'd be the discounted option, that's for sure.
All right, it was reported that there will not be an NFL team on the offseason or preseason version of Hard Knocks this year. Instead, it'll be North Carolina and Bill Belichick. My question to you is, will you tune into this or not?
You know what I'd like to tune into?
Paradise.
Yes.
I'm going to try that out.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to tune into watching a reality show between Belichick and his girlfriend. I'm not talking about anything weird. I'm talking about just watching this.
I didn't know you were going.
Watching this thing and how they interact, what they watch, what programs, meals, restaurants. That to me, I would tune in for, to see this man.
So just a camera following around Bill and his girlfriend 24 hours a day.
Maybe not 24 hours. I don't need to watch him sleep. But I would say...
Oh, man. Oh.
I mean, doesn't everybody want to know how this incredible coach, tops in his field, has gone back into the draft?
What do they talk
and gotten
about?
him a rookie all-star. He's 70, going to be 73 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to know that. I think it's great. Maybe he's a young 73.
Maybe.
But you're asking me to tune into what? North Carolina football with Belichick? It's all right.
I would assume it's probably going to be like that. If you remember the first year under Urban where he did that off-season little reality show on ESPN, probably something like that.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's getting no spins.
Matty says
me.
We got better options.
Yeah, it's getting no spins for me. CB, I have a hard enough time keeping up with the NFL Hard Knocks with the NFL teams.
And the Kardashians, you said. You have a hard enough time keeping up with them.
I don't even know what they're up to anymore.
We got to keep up.
Do they have a show on Hulu? I don't even think it's keeping up anymore. I literally think it's just the Kardashians. And you know what? Good for them.
Maybe that's what they should call the Belichick special.
But Bill's not entertaining.
Oh.
At least with the Kardashians, you had a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on with Lamar Odom, Tristan Thompson, just all over the place doing whatever he was doing. And then Kanye's Kanye. And I'm going to leave that at that.
Keeping up with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, no, that's a no for me. Like, I have no interest in the North Carolina football program, let alone Bill Belichick right now. I'm good. He's not going to be entertaining. We know what this is.
That's why I brought a different angle to the program.
Well, yours goes down a path that maybe some people want to follow you there. You know? CB started playing the appropriate music.
Just find out right now today is true.
All right, on to the next topic. It seems like every team that's been associated with Aaron Rodgers this offseason, all of the reports have said, and trying to get Davante Adams to go with him to that location. It seems like every time he's mentioned, Davante Adams wants to go with him to his next location. I don't know if that's true or not, but the question is, tell the truth. You figure it out. If you were Davante Adams, would you want to play another year with Aaron, or is it time to go your own way?
No. Get me on the first thing smoking to the Los Angeles Rams facility if I'm Davante Adams, especially if they move on from Cooper Kupp. Go into a situation where I got a quarterback that's still cooking. Yeah, if I'm Davante Adams, who went to Fresno State, he's familiar with Cali, all that stuff, played with the Raiders. Like, I'm going to L.A., and that's where I would want to be. Look, Rodgers and I, we can kick it when we're 40 and 50 years old, drinking old fashions on the beach somewhere. But for right now, no, I want to go play with Stafford or Herbert.
I would go even, you could go with one of the young up-and-coming quarterbacks. You could go back to Green Bay. I mean, there's plenty of options that are better than Rodgers right now. I agree with you on Herbert. I actually love that choice. Depending on we really don't know who's slinging it around for Pittsburgh, so that wouldn't probably be the greatest option. But yeah, I think that relationship, and there may not even be an option here if Rodgers retires.
The truth shall set you free.
If you missed anything from our show, don't worry. Wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone, it is Tool of the Week. And you can vote. Start voting on their Pizza Showdown situation that they have going on. So don't miss that.
And I am looking at a half-empty bottle of Cavatier, which means that we are just about out of time.
Absolutely. What a show. What a week. Can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock from the shipping container. Swing by, build a fire, help me out a little bit, and we'll talk to you guys on Monday. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the weekend. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110. Wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JUSTSPORTS. Get a welcome bonus up to $100 and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nadiata Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Columbus area attorneys. 10 West Broad Street, Suite 1550, Columbus,